Welcome back to another edition of Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports. I'm Rob Hipp, my good friend Carl Schoening in the house this afternoon. And Carl, a great one here in the second round, if you will, of the Gridiron Glory tournament. Georgetown yesterday defeated Hayes Rebels, so they move on. They'll play week after next for the state championship, if you want to call it that, for the Gridiron Glory tournament. And then today, this afternoon, it's the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks versus the Granger Lions. This will determine who plays Georgetown week after next. It's going to be a good one here today.
Yeah, a lot on the line here to start off this tournament as we enter the semifinals, if you will. It's pretty damp and overcast outside, so we're going to see a lot of ground game today. So really the battle in the trenches, which is always important, will be even more important today. And the team that can really establish their run game early and complete the few passes we'll probably see, that's going to be the team that'll come out on top.
Absolutely. Well, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, led by their veteran quarterback, Mr. JoJo Velika. He does a great job. He's even put together some bios for us here today. The Granger Lions, don't count them out as well. There's a reason that they finished up in the top four. They will be on the gridiron today as well. So we've got a great one set here. We're live from Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex in beautiful Round Rock, Texas, actually outside of Austin, Texas. And as always, Carl, a big thanks to Dwayne Wyrick and the folks at Round Rock ISD for allowing this Gridiron Glory football game to be here at the Palace.
Yeah, this is one of the premier Austin area athletic complexes. Obviously one of the most fun places to play football. I actually even played some junior high football out here. I love this place. Obviously gives you a real stadium atmosphere, and I think everybody enjoys coming out here today. It's going to be a good old game of football. I think everybody enjoys playing a little bit more in the rain. So we're going to see some good action today.
Absolutely. Well, we're excited about this one. We're going to send it over to the field now. We're just moments away from the national anthem and kickoff. Again, it's the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks versus the Granger Lions here on Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports. This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by the Schoening Hip Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, use of sound bites and interviews, and use of any other content, including audio or video, without the direct written consent and permission by the Schoening Hip Network is strictly prohibited and protected by federal and copyright laws. All rights are reserved by the Schoening Hip Network and SHNSports.com. Welcome back to Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports. I'm Rob Hipp alongside Carl Schoening. We're just moments away. I believe Mr. Marlon Lindsay, he's from Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. He will be doing the national anthem once again. He did a wonderful job yesterday. Unfortunately, we weren't able to grab that one, so we want to make sure today, Carl, that we get that one on audio.
Yeah, national anthem, always an important part to start the game.
And what's even more exciting is Marlon actually plays for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. The guy can sing. Mr. Rick Epstein is our public address announcer today. Again, I'm Rob Hipp alongside my good friend Carl Schoening. And we're going to try to keep it over to the PA here. We'll be back in a few moments with the call of the game after the national anthem.
And the youngest player for Granger will be from the class of 2015. So we've got players from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and the present day all playing in this game. Gridiron Glory Alumni Football. And Mr. George Orlock is proud to present these games all across Texas. If you know of anyone who's interested in enjoying the experience and continuing the glory on the gridiron, please contact George Cox at gridironglory.com.
Carl, I thought we were just moments away from the national anthem, but we're still waiting on the Granger Lions to actually, the Granger Lions are now set up on the field. The Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks are now making their way out as well.
We will have the national anthem sung by Mr. Marlon Lindsay from the Hawks team. He sang it yesterday and did a wonderful job. At this time, we have both teams entering the playing circles and line up from the sidelines for the national anthem.
And again, we are moments away from the national anthem here. Both teams now making their way onto the sidelines. Granger Lions are in black jerseys and black pants with white numbering. And the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks will be in their white jerseys with red numbering and red pants.
Just a reminder, in the event that I mispronounce a name, I'm not doing it on purpose, I promise you. This will get a team photo from Hadrin-Jefferson before we do the national anthem. Okay, the picture is taken. If both teams can line up on the sideline, we will be ready for the national anthem as soon as you are.
So the delay there on getting the national anthem going is the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, who you just saw on video there, getting their pictures taken. And man, they were they're really set to rock and roll, Carl. They really keep this professional.
Oh yeah, I think this is one of the more fun things you can do if you still want to play some full pad football. These alumni games, they're pretty awesome, I think. They're one of the best fun experiences you can have to go out there and hit somebody else.
Absolutely. And we're going to try to get Mr. Marlon Lindsay for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. We're going to try to get him. He's number 8, but he's actually up on the film deck. He'll be doing the national anthem, and unfortunately we don't have a feed into the PA, so we actually have a microphone out there. That's some of that static that you hear. So whenever he gets set to sing here in just a few moments, we're going to turn that microphone up, so hopefully we can hear him out there. Again, thanks for watching Gridiron Glory Alumni Football. Rob Hipp alongside Carl Schoening, Rick Epstein, the PA here today, just outside of Austin, Texas. Beautiful Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex, part of the Round Rock ISD school system. We're going to turn it over now for the official national anthem.
As Mr. Marlon Lindsay, who will be playing for Hadrin-Jefferson today, wearing number 8, class of 2005, will honor us today by singing the national anthem.
What a great job right there by Marlon Lindsay on the national anthem. He's number 8 for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, and just phenomenal, Carl, to hear him sing. Hopefully that came through pretty good. I know we have a little echoing because of how huge this stadium is and where he was standing at, but what a great job right there, Carl.
Yeah, really nice rendition of the national anthem, and I guess he'll have the coin toss to get down from up here in the press box where we are to the field, and maybe his team will even be nice and let his side of the ball defer to the second half so he doesn't have to go right back out there after rushing down from 4 stories up.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen here. The team captain is now making their way onto the field. The Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks on the far side. Again, they're in the white jerseys with red numbering and red pants. On the near side, it's going to be the Granger Lions in black jerseys and black pants with red socks and white numbering. And luckily, we'll be able to see these numbers really well for both teams here today, Carl.
Yeah, and that's great for us broadcasters when we can actually see who we're going to be calling the name out for. Really nice. It's really kind of rough for everybody when the numbers and the jerseys kind of blend in together.
Absolutely. Well, again, here just outside of Austin, Texas, 69 degrees, a very humid day with a 40% chance of rain. It's been misting off and on today. The wind at 6 miles an hour, so the wind has calmed down a lot from yesterday. That shouldn't play a factor today, but the rain and the moisture out there is going to play a factor. Hopefully we won't see too many fumbles by either team, Carl.
Yeah, no fumbles. That's going to be the key for the running backs to hold on to the ball. And like we were saying in the pregame earlier, good battles in the trenches today will be the main deciding factor of who can get their run game going and get on the scoreboard easier, because passes are probably going to be hard for quarterbacks to throw and receivers to catch.
Absolutely. Well, luckily this one, Carl and I live outside of Austin, so this one, not much travel. We covered an alumni game a while back where we were all the way up in El Paso, so that was a fun journey. So today it's nice to be able to travel about 15, 20 minutes to get over here to Kelly Reeves. Waiting to see the flip here at the center part of the field. Granger Lions out there. It looks like Leonard Hinojosa. Next to him, number 5, Kyle Jonk. Number 69, Travis Sessoms. And number 2, Jim Bird. And also there on the far right, number 35, Kyle Tucker. For the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks out there. Trying to see the numbers, but the official in the way of some of them. I believe it's number 12, Christopher DeArmond. Followed by a host of Hawks out there, Carl. Sorry we missed those. Kind of hard to see because they all turned sideways.
It looks like the Hawks deferred to the second half, though, and receiving to start off this ball game will be the Lions.
Dominic Thomas was out there alongside Judas Bertrand for the Hawks as well. So as Carl just said, it looks like the Hawks did defer. The Granger Lions will be set to receive first here for the opening drive of the game. And we're just about underway. These are 15-minute quarters, pretty much played by NCAA rules, if I recall correctly. And a big thanks, as always, to our wonderful friend, Mr. George Cox. He's the owner of Gridiron Glory Alumni Football. He's helping these guys' dreams come true, getting back here on the field and playing. And make no mistake, this is not, it may seem like it's an amateur game, but these guys take it very seriously. They put a lot of preparation into these games, a lot of hard work. And they do like to have fun, but when it's game day, they get serious and they want to win this, especially, Carl, since this one is for the tournament that's going to happen next weekend after next.
Yeah, this is a game you don't want to take lightly. You have to be serious between the whistle and the gun, if you will, because this is one of those games where if you don't go hard, you might actually get injured. So this is one of those sports, football is, where you let your guard down and you might get hit the wrong way. And everybody out there is ready to hit somebody else, but they're also going to get hit themselves. So it's fun to get the adrenaline rush going in these football games.
Absolutely. Well, set to kick off for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. It looks like number 55 out there, Christopher Johnson. He's the class of 2009. So he'll be set to kick off from the 40-yard line. The action, Carl, is going to be from the right to the left. Of course, you can see it on your video screen there.
Gridiron Glory Alumni Football for SHN Sports. Rob Hipp and Carl Schoening on the action and call of the game.
And the kick is up and underway. A driving kick going to bounce around the 24 and received by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Crossing over the 25, down to the 30, still on his feet, zipping his way down, and he's going to be stopped. They'll give him forward progress up around the 34-yard line, maybe the 33. And I believe that was number 82 on the return for Granger. That was Patrick Gamble, the 2008 alum.
Yeah, good field position to start here, 70 yards in front of them. And it's real important in these games to strike first, whether it's an alumni game or any other football game. If you get the ball first, you definitely want to take advantage of it in every case whenever you have the ball. But if you can work with that early lead, you can start to work the clock as soon as the next possession.
So Granger going to start out here, 1st and 10 on their own 32-yard line. Quarterback in shotgun, one receiver to either side, two backs behind him. Steps back, the pitch back to his running back, dancing around, and finally brought down. The quarterback for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, I beg your pardon, for Granger is Jim Bird. That's who has the ball. The quarterback, Jim Bird, for the Granger Lions. And the running back there on that play was a 2012 graduate, Trevon Taplin, number 24. So about a yard gain. It's going to be 2nd down and 9, the ball on the 33-yard line. Bird, the handoff, fumbles the ball, able to fall back on it as Taplin. He's going to be dropped for a loss back down. They're going to give him forward progress to the 29-yard line, but about a 3-yard loss on that play, Carl.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier, the kind of slippery situation we have here with a damp ball and damp weather will make holding on to that football important. You don't want to turn the ball over on your own half of the field, especially considering the early part of the game. This is going to be a passing down now on 3rd and long.
So Bird in shotgun, 2 receivers to either side. He has Taplin offset at his back to the right. The snap, Bird, beg your pardon, swinging over to the right side, has a receiver, and he's going to be stopped. Not much of a gain down to the 35-yard line. That was number 82, Patrick Gamble, for the Granger Lions.
Yeah, right idea right there, but like we were saying earlier, these conditions aren't necessarily good for passing, and good completion on the short pass right there, but still about 7-8 yards short of the first down, and that should bring out the punting unit.
And set back to receive for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, number 7 is Keon Blackman, all alone back there. And Granger set to punt the ball off here from their own 39-yard line. The punter back around the 22. The snap, great snap. The punt up and away. Nice punt. And it's going to sail around and bounce to the, rolls to the 30-yard line and picked up right there by number 12, Roderick Davis. And that's where the Granger Lions are going to take over here. I beg your pardon, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, Carl.
Yeah, that's a good job to reverse field position pretty much. They went from their own 30 and gave the ball back over to the other 30. Really good punt right there. As you said, not too often in these alumni games do we really see a punter who can get a lot of air under the ball. And in this case, when you can't score on a possession, giving the other team a bad field position is usually the best thing you can do. And right now, it looks like the ball is going to be spotted around the 31, so 69 yards ahead for the Hawks. It'll be an interesting drive to see if they can get their run game going.
And the quarterback out there, number 11, Mr. JoJo Velika for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. It's first down and 10, first possession of the game. Triplets up top to the right, 1 receiver down to the left. Velika under center, hands off to his back, running around, dancing, plowing his way for a few yards. And in a second effort will gain him a few more. That's number 32, Dominic Thomas, a 2001 graduate.
Yeah, it looked like there might have been a little bit of a mishap on the handoff, but the running back was able to hold on to it and still find his block to pick up 5 yards. Best run of the day so far from either team.
And so he may have picked up around 5 yards. Going to be second down and 5. 11:46 to go in the opening quarter of play here. The Lions and the Hawks both scoreless. And again, this is the Hawks' first possession of the game. The ball right at the 35-yard line, maybe the 36. Velika under center. 2 receivers up top to the right. The sweep out, he's going to hand off to his back again. It's Dominic Thomas, has room across the 50. Thomas still on his feet and finally tackled right there by Granger. It was Roderick Davis saving the touchdown, but not before a big gain by Dominic Thomas all the way down to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, first down of the day, and also first time a team has gone on to the other side of the field. So that's good momentum to start off the game.
This is the 21st alumni game for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, a state record and double the number of games that any other team in Texas has played. They had to travel over 4 hours to get here, the 6th time that they've done that. Velika in, this time in shotgun. Triplets up top to the right, 1 receiver down to the left. And Thomas lined up behind him in a pistol formation. This time the handoff. Across the left side on the near side, still dancing around across the 30-yard line, and finally a swarm of Lions, a pack of Lions, if you will, runs him out of bounds. A great job right there, picking up some yardage. Number 7, Keon Blackman, the 2011 graduate.
Yeah, it looks like a triple option right there, and when the Lions sent 5 men up front to really make sure that they locked up everything on the trenches, the best play was to give it to the end around, and good job to really force it outside, but looks like we have a false start there on the Hawks, and that'll back them up and negate that run. Might have been a holding or perhaps offsetting penalties in a replay of first down, because that run was taken away, and it looks like the line team over there will just keep the ball right where it was before that play. So good run taken away.
So Valika lines up in shotgun. Two receivers up top to the left. One of them is Christopher DeArmond up there on the far side. This time the handoff to his back. It's Mike Warnell, and Warnell still on his feet, finally ankle tackled. And he'll be brought down for maybe a few yards on the play there.
So far, the Hawks really showing that they can establish that run game. They had a big run earlier to get here on to the Lions side of the field, and just a moment ago they had that big run taken back. It seemed like offsetting penalties, because that was this will be second down coming up. And honestly, the Hawks have more players out there, so as the course of the game rolls on, they're going to have more fresh legs to go out there.
Absolutely. Lining up on the near side, number 88, Steve Bell. Valika in at shotgun. Calling for the snap. Two receivers up top. He's going to pass, scanning, looking, right side, on the far side, and just over the fingertips of Christopher DeArmond. That'll fall incomplete, and that will bring up third down, Carl.
Yeah, if you wanted to go for a deep pass at some point, second and manageable, around 2nd and 6, probably the best time to do it, because now you have one more down, and you probably have 2 more downs really to pick up the first down. I don't think you want to punt at around your own 35. So you pick up a few yards here on a run and then go for it on 4th down. Losing it, turning over on downs probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Granger substitution as number 10, Webb Roush, comes off the field. He's a 2013 graduate. And also Michael Winfrey, 1992 alumni out there playing today. And just scanning through the list here, the Granger quarterback, 1986 alumni. He may be the eldest one on the team out there and out of anybody. Big third down here for the Hawks. Valika in at shotgun, man in motion is Blackman. Instead, it's going to be the pitch out to his back, Warnell. Warnell trying to dance around, and Warnell's going to be stopped for maybe a loss of 1 on the play. That's going to be 4th down for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, and you got to wonder here if they're going to go for it or if they're going to punt the ball, Carl.
You know, going for it wouldn't necessarily be the worst idea, but considering it's 4th and long and you have an opportunity to maybe pin the Lions deep, I think punting it might actually be the smart chess move. But if you want to maybe get out to an early lead and you think you can pick up these 7 yards, I'd say go for it, because this, as we spoke about earlier, scoring the first score of the game would probably be a big deal, and no one's going to kick a field goal from here, and it looks like they're going to go for it.
They are going to go for it. Remember, this drive started out on their own 31-yard line, a big run, and things have kind of stalled after that. Valika in at shotgun, 2 receivers to either side, has a back offset to his right. 4th down and 9. A low snap, Valika picks it up, rolling around, throws it over to the right side. There should have been a pass interference call, and there is. The Granger defender dangling off of the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawk out there, and I believe that was number 12, Chris DeArmond, and that's a good call. And that'll be first down for the Hawks.
Yeah, that's a 15-yard penalty, and just a break there for the Hawks, because that low snap probably should have resulted in a turnover on downs, and then really good job by Valika to recover and not just fall down on the ball, but have the presence of mind to look down the field, find a receiver, and they were able to draw the penalty.
The ball now at the 34-yard line. I believe it was Roderick Davis for the Lions on that penalty. Valika in it, shotgun, 2 receivers down to the left, 1 up top to the right. This time he's going to hand off to his back. Diving his way ahead for about 5 was Dominic Thomas. And he may have picked up 5 yards on that, Carl. If so, that's going to be 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying to tempo the Lions here.
Actually picked up 6, 2nd down and 4. 2 backs behind Valika. The handoff back to Thomas again on the left side. Plowing his way through for the first down. And a pack of Lions trying to bring him down. They finally do, but not before the first down. That ball all the way down to the 13-yard line, and a first down for the Hawks.
They're going to keep the clock rolling here, and the Hawks they're going back to the huddle, but right there, that was a smart move. They wanted to make sure they picked up the first down. They didn't want the defense to communicate. And really smart play to really force the tempo.
Michael Aldridge heads to the sidelines for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Coming back into the game is Keon Blackman, again, the 2011 alumni. The ball spotted on the 12-yard line. So it'll be first down and 10 inside the red zone for the Hawks. Velika in its shotgun. 2 receivers up top to the right, 2 down to the left. He has his back offset to his right. Velika in stance. Looking, scanning, he's going to pass left side of the field, up and in and out of the hands, almost able to pull it down, but he falls short. That was Keon Blackman. Incomplete, that'll bring up second down and 9.
That was a smart idea to pass on first down right there, and looking for a shot in the end zone just off the hands of his receiver. That could have been a big play to spark the Hawks offense here in the first half, but instead it'll be incomplete, and I think they go back to the run game here.
They finally come out of the huddle here. Velika. Receiver up top to the right is Chris DeArmond. 2 receivers down on the near side. And shotgun, the handoff to his back. And he's breaks an initial tackle and able to pick up 2. He salvages 2 yards on the play after what could have been an initial loss. A great job right there by number 22, O'Shea Kinbrew. He's a 2012 alum.
It's obviously 4-down territory. I don't think we've seen a field goal attempted in any of these alumni games, maybe 1. And in this case right here, you have 2 downs to pick up about 7-8 yards and create a first and goal opportunity. So the Hawks really trying to get their offense running.
Look for the run here as Velika lines up under center. And the mishandled snap, he does. He sweeps it out over to his back. It's Kinbrew. And a nice ankle tackle right there by the Granger Lions. That was number 35 coming up with the touchdown saving tackle, Kyle Tucker. Kinbrew had nowhere to run on that one. Stopped for a big loss.
Yeah, he had a lot of room in front of him, but then as soon as the defender was able to read the angle, he stopped him, and now it's 4th down. This might be a passing down because only 2 plays before have the Hawks been able to pick up more than 5 yards on a run. And they've been real close on some passing plays. They haven't completed a pass yet, but they got the PI earlier, and they've gone off the hands of the receivers twice.
Carl, 5:15 to go here in the first quarter. We're still scoreless. The Hawks are threatening on their own on the Granger Lions 10-yard line. However, it is 4th down. Ball on the near side hash mark. Velika in its shotgun. The receiver took off a little bit early. They're going to let it run. And Velika, low pass, falls incomplete, and that'll be a turnover on downs. The Granger Lions will take over on their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, right idea to pass right there, and they even had a safety kind of running back there to do a running back pass off of a lateral, and right there the pass maybe just a little bit low and caught the running back off guard, but interesting play, and we saw that not too long ago in El Paso where the running back throw was kind of a big play for, I think it was Isleta, and just a right idea, not quite the best execution right there. We might see that again later on in this game.
So on the first drive of the afternoon for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, they start out on their own 31-yard line. A penalty on 4th down gives them more yardage, gives them a new fresh downs, a new set of life, if you will, and they get down to the 10-yard line, but the drive stalls on an incomplete pass, and it will be the second possession for the Granger Lions, and there is a timeout on the field by the Granger Lions. So we'll keep things right here. Kind of slow and go here on that first possession. The Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks taking a lot of time off the clock, almost 11 minutes. We're down under 5 minutes now. And so they were able to eat up some clock, but unfortunately not able to score. And if this was a game yesterday, Carl, we would have seen a field goal. Both the Georgetown Eagles and the Hayes Rebels had kickers on their teams. Of course, Mason Crosby wasn't here. That would have been unfair for the Georgetown Eagles.
There has to be a rule. We'll have to ask George Cox, but I don't think you're allowed to be in the NFL and play in these alumni
Play
games.
in the alumni, yeah. But Georgetown and both teams able to kick field goals. We saw several yesterday, so but for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks as well as the Granger Lions, I don't know if we're going to see much of a kicking game here Velika has a very capable arm on him, normally able to complete that pass. Again, it may be the jitters of the first quarter, just getting back out on the gridiron playing. It's been a while.
Yeah, and also, you know, we talked about it, these conditions not the best for a clean game of football, and it's kind of like backyard football, sloppy, muddy, but it's fun.
Granger's going to take over here, 1st down and 10 on their own 10-yard line, one receiver to either side. Jim Bird sweeps back out to his back. That's Trevon Taplin, and Taplin still able to salvage some yards as he was initially hit in the backfield. He maybe picks up 2 on the play. That'll be 2nd down and 8. Picking up the mound there as all bodies were all on the turf. They finally get him up, and they will give him 2 yards. Fighting for 2 yards on that one.
Got to fight for every yard in a scoreless game.
2nd down and 8. Quarterback under center. This time the direct handoff to his running back, and he's going to be stopped for a big loss. That was Leonard Hinojosa. Nowhere to go. The Hawks read it beautifully.
Yeah, fullback dive right there, and in that case, yep, the trenches up front, they were able to find him, get an arm on him, and actually push him back 2 yards, negating that first run. And now we're at 3rd and 10 from their own 10. So Lions probably looking to pass right here.
They appear to line up in that formation on the far side. It's Webb Roush. One receiver down, actually trips up top to the left. The quarterback scanning, looking to the left side, and almost intercepted. Great coverage right there by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Todd Rigsby able to break that play up, and it brings up a quick 4th down for these Granger Lions.
Yeah, punting time. You don't want to turn it over on downs here at your own 10, obviously. So either way, the Hawks are about to get really good field position.
So back set to receive for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, number 7, Blackman. 2011 graduate. So he's still got some fresh legs out there, Carl. And actually, he's going to stay up midfield. It almost looks like we have 2 number 7s out there. I'm sure we don't.
We'll let you know as soon as we can see their numbers. No numbers on their sleeves, so just got to look at the front.
There is a number 7 down at the 50-yard line set to receive. There's another Hadrin-Jefferson Hawk at the 35. Can't see his number yet, and that's 17, so that's Todd Rigsby there. The punt in the backfield, and that's going to settle around the 45-yard line. Blackman drops it, but able to pick it up. Looking for his blockers on the far side. Has room to run. Bouncing around across the 30-yard line, still on his feet, and finally drug out of bounds. That's going to be great field position starting for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. A nice job right there by Blackman as he initially fumbled that return, able to pick it up and make something out of nothing, Carl.
Yeah, and you don't usually see that. Like we said, typically you just hop back on top of the ball. He might have gotten a finger on it before he had it fall to the ground, so he definitely didn't want to risk the Lions coming up and picking it up and getting possession back. So really good job right there to keep his cool, composure, and find his blockers and get inside the opposing 30 to start the field position. Looks like they're starting at the 28.
Great field position here on the second drive of the game for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Velika in at quarterback, of course, and shotgun, 2 receivers to either side. And he may go under center here. We're waiting to see. A lot of times when he goes under center, it's going to be a handoff. And it is a handoff to his back. Diving, lowering his head. Great initial run right there by Dominic Thomas. And Thomas picks up around 5 yards on that play. Actually, give him 6.
Yeah, now they inch even closer, about 3 yards away from entering the red zone for the second time this ball game. Last time the drive kind of stalled out. This time around, I think they've learned a little bit, and they're going to keep it on the ground until they absolutely need to pass.
Bell lines up as the receiver on the near side. Trips up top to the right. Velika this time in shotgun, look for the pass. Actually, he's going to hand off. Back over to Thomas. Thomas on the near side. Using his big frame across the 10-yard line, the 5, and Thomas gets tripped up just before he gets into the end zone. What a run right there by Thomas down to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, great run right there. Broke a tackle, almost took it all the way in. That's the worst feeling, especially if you have that guy on your fantasy team. To get there right at the 1. but I think they can punch it in right here. They have 1st and goal, 4 tries to get it in.
We thought we had at least I thought I had the game plan worked out. Every time we've seen Velika under center, he hands off. Normally when he's in shotgun, he passes. That time, the nice fake and able to get down to the 1-yard line. 1st down and goal. Velika under center. He's going to hand off to Thomas. Thomas walks his way in. Touchdown! Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, they get on the board first with 2:15 to go in the first period.
Got a Gronk-like spike right there on the end zone entry as well. No flags for unsportsmanlike conduct because it's all fun and games out there. And good job by the Hawks to strike first. Now they have to point after, and this one will be a little bit further out, but they've established that run game. I think they might get 8 up here on this drive.
So the second time's the charm for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. They're on their second possession of the game, able to score on this one. And they're going to go for 2 here. It's Velika in at shotgun. 2 receivers up top to the right, 1 down on the near side. 2 backs behind him. Velika gets the snap, hands off to his back, jiving his way in, and he's going to backpedal his way in for the 2-point conversion. Nice job right there by Kennebrew.
Yeah, they had 2 backs right there on either side of the quarterback, and they moved the guy on the right to be a fullback lead blocker, and that was the difference in that play to find the hole. And even though he kind of got hit a little bit, he was able to, like you said, backpedal into the end zone. And that's a very convincing lead for the Hawks here, who they even have a stout defense here as we see this game unfold. The first quarter's been a fun one, only 2:15 left.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Granger Lions set to receive the kick. 2:15 to go. The Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks lead the Granger Lions 8-0. We'll be right back. This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by the Shoning Hip Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, use of sound bites and interviews, and use of any other content, including audio or video, without the direct written consent and permission by the Shoning Hip Network is strictly prohibited and protected by federal and copyright laws. All rights are reserved by the Shoning Hip Network and SHNSports.com. Back in action here as the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, who just scored, set to kick the ball off here. And the kick is up and away. Driving kick. It's going to take a bounce just in front of the 15-yard line, received by Granger. Diving his way around, breaks the initial tackle, still on his feet, spinning around, and a nice job by Patrick Gamble on a big return, but there is a fumble on the field. We'll wait to see the official call. They may have called him down. The Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks sure think that they have it. We're waiting to see what the call is. A bunch of the Hawks come onto the field, and the official says no, it is Granger football.
You see the ball come loose, and you immediately start telling the officials, we got the ball, even if you didn't see which person actually landed on it. Right there, the Hawks coming off of a score, getting the ball, the last drive, right around that general area, really wanted the football back. Good job by the Lions to really maintain possession on that. And they start at the 31-yard line, and this is their best field position so far of this ball game. See if they can take advantage of it.
69 yards to go for the Granger Lions. Jim Bird again, the 1986 alum out there for the Granger Lions in at quarterback. 2:04 to go in the opening quarter. Hadrin-Jefferson leads 8-0. And Granger breaks. Again, that ball at the 31-yard line. 2 receivers stacked up to the left, 1 receiver down on the near side hash mark. The handoff to the back. Diving his way around, breaks the initial tackle, still on his feet, fumbles the ball. Hadrin-Jefferson thinks that they may have it as. And they do. Recovered by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks at the 35-yard line. Wow.
Yeah, 2 loose balls, and the Hawks were able to come up with one of them. You never want to let the ball hit the ground, and in that case right there, the defense always eager to see where the ball ends up, whether it's in a offensive player hands or comes out of it, you're going to usually have more people on the defensive side of the ball chasing after the ball than the offensive side. So when there's an offensive fumble, the defense usually will hop right back on top of it.
I'm not sure who the running back was on that play. It was hard to see the number from up here. He did fumble the ball at the 35-yard line. That's where the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks will take over in Granger Lion territory. Remember, the Hawks, the most experienced team on the field in the Gridiron Gloria League.
Yeah, we have an illegal substitution here right as you say that, so that'll back them up about 5 yards.
Like to jinx it every once in a while, Carl.
Too many players in the huddle, I guess, and still 40 yards to go until the end zone. They'll take the field position even though they lost 5 yards.
Velika lines up in shotgun, trips down to the left. The man who started the team, Mr. Jojo Velika. He's the head coach, also the offensive coordinator, recruiter, and organizer. Basically the Iron Man of the team. Now he moves under center. Going to hand off to his back and immediately stop for a loss in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 1 on the play, as Kennebrew had nowhere to go on that one.
Lions defense is probably getting a little tired right now, but you wouldn't know it by some of these plays that they've had recently. Obviously, that big run that got the Hawks down to the 1 was a straw that broke the back, but if they can force them to a turnover here on this drive, that would be a big win for this defense.
It's going to bring up 2nd down and long for the Hawks. 2 receivers line up on the far side, stacked behind each other. Now they move out. It's going to be trips, actually. Well, a little confusion. A lot of confusion going on. Dean McIntyre finally lines up, and there's going to be a false start on the play, or maybe a delay of game.
Yeah, in that case, that confusion you were talking about, delay of game, I think it might have also been a false start as well. They'll opt for the other 5-yard penalty, and penalties and a good stop by the Lions defense, only 2nd down, and they have probably 21 yards to go until they pick up that first. So we might see a couple passes here with the clock running at 50 seconds left in this quarter.
Yeah, and remember, Carl, they started out on the Granger 35-yard line, and as you just said, about 11 yards back now, close to the 50-yard line. Look for the pass here, Velika, and it's shotgun, and McIntyre still confused about where he's supposed to be. They finally line up, trips down to the left, now McIntyre in motion. The handoff is to McIntyre, and he stopped immediately for another loss. Great job by the Granger Lions. The initial hit right there by Jose Hernandez. Fresh legs, 2015 alum.
Yeah, it looked like they were running the same play that ended up being a delay of game just from the opposite side, and the defense was ready for it because they saw the formation.
And the clock ticking down below 8 seconds, and do we see a timeout on the field?
I think the officials called the timeout right there.
Yeah, I wonder what
Stop the clock with 6 seconds left.
Appears to be an injury down on the field for the Granger Lions, as McIntyre having a hard time getting up. He is on his knees. He's being attended to by a trainer. So anytime you see a guy down, it's good to at least see him on his knees.
Yeah, it's the right spot right there. Looks like someone tried to throw a water bottle over to the Granger Lions and might have lost a good amount of water, as the cap looked like it came off and the bottle rolled across the field. So this is a nice little timeout. Looks like he's up and walking off the field, though. So
McIntyre does get up, and George Cox out there in the middle of the field.
Yeah, always a reminder that these guys are definitely going to be sore for the next week. But always a reminder, play safe out there and don't push past your limits. This is a very physically exertive sport, and you don't want to maybe force yourself into dehydration, so it's good that the water was put out there. And also, you know, they're running a lot of sprints, so that'll definitely get your heart rate up. If you don't give yourself some time to cool down, you might be out of your target heart rate zone and hurt you.
So Hadrin-Jefferson trying to get the ball off before the clock strikes 0, and they won't. And that will be the end of the first quarter. At the end of one, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks lead the Granger Lions 8-0. We'll be right back. You're watching Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports. This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by the Shoning Hip Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, use of sound bites and interviews, and use of any other content, including audio or video, without the direct written consent and permission by the Shoning Hip Network is strictly prohibited and protected by federal and copyright laws. All rights are reserved by the Shoning Hip Network and SHNSports.com. Welcome back to this edition of Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports. We're the second quarter just about to get underway. It's going to be second down for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Their action now moving from left to right on the field, as you can see it on your video screen there. And so far, penalties have really marred this third drive of the game for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks.
Yeah, we're waiting on the chain gang right here to set up, and I think we saw earlier that it'll be second and 21, so still a good ways away for the Hawks to pick up the first down, but maybe this little timeout between the quarters will get their offense going.
And the ball is on the 46-yard line. Valika in it, shotgun, two receivers up top to the left, one down to the right, and he's also got his back offset to his left.
Ball's at the 46-yard line.
Again, these are 15-minute quarters. Kennebrew is going to be offset as the back to the left behind Valika. Valika looking, passing, far side of the field, in traffic. What a swat right there by a Granger Lion. The intended receiver, incomplete pass to Keon Blackman, and broken up by Granger. What a swat right there by the cornerback.
Yeah, definitely throwing into double coverage, and the Lions were able to mark the receiver and also get a hand on the ball. If he went for the catch, it could have been 6 points the other way because it looked like that sideline was wide open.
Ball on the near side hash mark at the 46-yard line. Valika shotgun. Triplets up top to the left, one receiver down to the right. Third down and long. Valika scanning, looking, right side of the field. Nice pass, and this one almost picked off the intended receiver, Warnell. But again, a great job by the Granger Lions in the backfield and able to knock that ball down. Luckily, it didn't get intercepted. That's going to be fourth down, and we should see the Hawks punt here on this one.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely a punting down. You've got plenty of yards to go to the yard to gain, which is at the 25, and you're at the 46 still. So those last two passing plays didn't result in any positive yards and only took 11 seconds off the clock. We weren't expecting too many passes, but those were back-to-back obvious passing downs, and Granger's probably going to have a good chance to return something right here. They're going to send two men back to return this punt.
I believe Christopher DeArmond is also the kicker.
Christopher Darman in punt formation.
Granger set back to receive around the 20-yard line. Unfortunately, the numbers aren't on the front of the jersey for the Lions.
Back deep is Patrick Campbell.
I believe we just heard Rick Epstein say it was Patrick Campbell set back to receive. Patrick Gamble. Fumble on the play. Wow. And he's just going to have to throw this one away. Deep pass down, and it is going to be bobbled around, incomplete. There's flags all over the field, and boy, I wonder if we'll see some sort of a pass interference call on here.
Wouldn't that be the bailout of the century? Let's see what they call.
Numerous officials blew the whistle. There is one flag there just inside the 40-yard line. Initially, it looked like it was against Hadrin-Jefferson.
Yeah, it looks like the penalty will be declined. Let's see what the officials have for us.
So it is a penalty against Hadrin-Jefferson, waiting to see what the official call is.
little bit of confusion, but it should be a turnover on downs, really, because that was an incomplete pass on 4th down. So it should be the Lions football at the 46-yard line, which would have been better than a punt, assuming that they didn't return it for a good return. The official's still discussing things. If I'm not mistaken, we were told on the way up here that these are Cotton Bowl officials.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. So if that's true, these guys definitely have some experience.
Looks like they were offsetting penalties. Yeah.
So they will replay the down. Is that right? Or if it's incomplete, they'll just call it down and it'll be a turnover?
You know, in this case, I think that they will replay the 4th down and have the punting unit out there. But if I were the Lions, I would see if there was a way maybe we could get the turnover on down. But the fact that they committed a penalty and they can't just decline the Granger penalty will result in the repunt, or a replay of 4th down, I should say.
So Gamble back to receive again, just beyond the 20-yard line. He's also joined by another Granger Lion player. DeArmond set to kick off again here, set to punt the ball off, rather. Standing just beyond the 40 at the 41-yard line. Even though it's a little overcast, it's not pouring down rain, so not too bad out there on the field. DeArmond calling for the snap. This time better handled. The punt up and away. Beautiful punt. And a fair catch called, but it goes way away from a Granger player. It's going to take a bounce and down by Steve Bell, the 2010 alum for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Around the, let's see where they spotted that at the 11-yard line. So that's where the Granger Lions will take over. And they may have moved it to the 15 here. We'll see, Carl. Just inside that, just beyond the 11. We'll call it the 12-yard line.
I believe that might be the 16.
Yeah, the 16. Yeah, 16. Numbers are kind of blurring together up here. So it's on the 16-yard line.
Still not favorable field position for the Lions, who, if they didn't commit their own penalty, which we couldn't see as the penalties were kind of shown away from us, those offsetting penalties cost them the 46-yard line.
Somehow through all that, only 30 seconds comes off the clock. 14:30 is the time on the clock, just over 14 minutes to go here in the second quarter. This will be the 4th possession for the Granger Lions in the ball game, the first one of the second quarter. Bird in at shotgun. Gonna pass, scanning the field, passes, and it's almost intercepted. Boy, that could have been a pick 6 right there as it falls in and out of the hands of Ken Granger. The intended receiver for Granger, I believe, was Gamble. Incomplete.
Yeah, not counting the 2 special teams plays here in the second quarter, one which was called for offset penalties and the other one that was a punt. We've seen nothing but passes here in the second quarter, so a little bit of a change of game plan from both teams. Obviously, the Hawks had to do it intentionally because they were so far away from the first down, but that's a dangerous pass to make inside the 20 if you're a Lion.
It's going to be 2nd down and 10 here. A long way to go for Bird and the Granger Lions. Bird lines up in shotgun, 1 receiver up to the right, 2 down to the left. He's going to pass again. Scanning over to the left side, chased by some Hawks, and he's going to be brought down for the sack at the 15-yard line. Great job right there by Zane Connor and a host of Hawks.
Yeah, it might have been enough to pick up 1 yard, get back to the initial line of scrimmage, but scanning for that pass and taking too much time, he decided to maybe take off. The defense had already started to swarm around him. As we were saying, the defense, they just go after the ball, and in that case right there, the Lions forced themselves into another passing down after not being able to complete back-to-back passing plays.
It's 3rd down and 11 for the Granger Lions. On the near side, a hash mark. Trips down to the left, 2 receivers up top. Empty back set. Bird looking to pass. This one's going to be intercepted at the 40-yard line. Still on his feet, crossing around, dancing across the 15. Flag on the play. Breaking a few tackles, finally brought down. A great interception right there by Todd Rigsby. But we'll wait to see what these penalty flags are, Carl.
Yeah, we'll see, but I think this might go against return on after the interception more so than anything. So let's see what the officials talk about, but I think this will be Hawks ball regardless. Oh, we might have a defensive holding. Who knows? We'll see. They're talking about it.
And the officials points in the direction of the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. We're still waiting to see what the call is here.
I think they might let the Lions keep this football.
And they wave the flag off now. So no penalty, and it is the Hadrin-Jefferson football at the 12-yard line.
Well, talk about a break right there. Back-to-back failed pass attempts, and the Lions are forced to go for it on 3rd and around 11. And a good interception by the Hawks defense sets them up inside the red zone already.
Well, Bell lines up on the far side alongside Keon Blackman. It's going to be 1st down and 10 at the 11-yard, or actually the 12-yard line. Valika in at quarterback. Kennebrew offset it as his back. And actually it's Dominic Thomas. Thomas with the ball, and he's going to be brought down just inside the 10-yard line, but there is a flag on the play. Looks like an offensive hold.
Yeah, that seems to be where it's coming from. The line judge on the right side. And they got to talk this over because I don't think we see them really discussing it any. And it might be on the defense as the officials are pointing to the Lions.
And it is a offsides penalty on the defense.
Well then, that's another break there for the Hawks, even though they picked up a few yards on that. Looks like they're going to go a little bit further towards the end zone.
They're at the 9-yard line now, it appears, from up here in the broadcast booth.
And it looks like they're going to place this ball at around the 7.
So they do move it up a few more yards. So the Hawks once again within striking distance in the red zone. They can still pick up a 1st down at the 2-yard line. Valika in shotgun. This time it's Michael Aldridge behind him, under center actually. He's going to hand off. Thomas bouncing his way in, walks in for the touchdown. Dominic Thomas.
Dominic Thomas aiming for the touchdown.
Big run right there from Dominic Thomas for the touchdown. That's his 2nd one of the day. And that was from the, where did they have that marked at, the 8-yard line?
Somewhere around the 7 or the 8, but yeah, power I formation. You get a good blocker, you hand it off to the tailback, and he's able to send it in for pretty clear lane to the end zone.
That's the 2nd time that we've seen Dominic Thomas run the ball in. So far, if we had to pick an MVP early, it's going to be Dominic Thomas. Of course, there's still a lot of game left. 12:41 to go in the 2nd quarter. Seems like things in the 2nd quarter running a lot slower than that 1st quarter.
Yeah, a lot more passes, a lot more flags.
Lining up for the 2-point conversion, DeArmond, the receiver on the near side, and up top to the left, another receiver. Valika under center. Going to hand off to his back, and the backpedaling this time doesn't work. He'll be stopped short of the goal line. Aldridge couldn't get it across. And the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks lead this contest 14-0 over the Granger Lions. 12:41 to go in a 2nd. We'll leave it right here, Carl.
Yeah, the Hawks had to settle right there for only 6 points on that drive, but coming off the interception, you can't really complain. Taking a 2-touchdown lead, essentially, is also nothing to complain about. And looked like that jumbo set with 3 men in the backfield going under center, maybe a little bit of a wishbone formation with 2 guys lined up next to each other. Not quite the outcome that you want right there. Maybe if they had thrown it out of the I formation one more time, they could have gotten something. But still, 14-0 lead here in the 2nd quarter, and you've pretty much controlled the game so far if you're the Hawks. I think that's a win on its own, even though you didn't get the 2-point conversion.
Was the defense coming up big as Rigsby intercepted the ball around the 40-yard line. That was the deciding play of the possession there for the Granger Lion. Rigsby able to intercept it. And then again, it was Dominic Thomas with that 7-yard touchdown run, his second of the game, to give the Hawks a 14-0 lead.
Yeah, and we saw it earlier. There's just a lot of mishap here in the second half. I think we're going to probably see a little bit more cleaner game here as both sides want to refocus. Obviously, one with momentum, the other one searching for it.
3 lines set back to receive. This is a grounding kick. It's going to bounce around at the 30-yard line. And trying to come up with the ball is Leonard Hinojosa, and he has it on the far side, and he's going to be brought down for no gain. And Hinojosa, they're going to call him down at the 30-yard line. So that's where Granger's going to take over. This will be the 5th possession for the Granger Lions in the ball game, the 2nd possession of the second quarter, and they're scoreless on 5 possessions so far.
Yeah, the Lions starting at the 30 again. They've pretty much started all of their drives around that area, and that's going to be something that they have to overcome now. Roughly 70, 60-something yards in front of them. They still need to get into the red zone.
So again, the ball at the 30. That's where Bird's going to have to work from. 70 yards to go. 2 receivers to either side. Has a back lined up offset. He's in shotgun. Could have been a false start, no call. The pass over to Grimble. Driving around, Grimble has it, and he's brought down after a tough 4-yard gain by Gamble.
Yeah, just kind of catching it out of the slot, it looked like, and picking up 4 yards. That's a positive play after unsuccessful passing plays on their last drive. Let's see if they can keep that passing game going, because it seems like that's the route they want to go to.
Keep the completions going and keep the clock running. 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. Bird in shotgun. 2 receivers to either side. He's looking to pass, scanning. He gets hit, and this one falls incomplete by Granger. Nice job right there. The initial hit coming off of Jason Prevey. He's the 2010 graduate for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks.
Yeah, pocket was collapsing and just had to get rid of the ball, and that's the best thing you can do right now. When you find yourself down 2 touchdowns, you're almost forced to pass the ball more than you want to. And right now on 3rd, and looks like the line is moved to 6 yards away from the yard to gain. We might see another passing down.
3rd and 6 here for the Granger Lions. Trips up top to the right. No penalty as everybody jumped, and a pass inside. It's caught for the first down, and spinning his way across the 46-yard line. A great reception right there by Granger. And Davis talking some smack. Roderick Davis there with a nice one, and he's well-deserved of talking smack. He had a nice catch and grab for the first down.
Yeah, and in this case, that's exactly what your team needs. You need to get that momentum. You need to get a little bit of smack talk to get your team fired up. And as they pick up the first down, it looks like they're going to move the ball even further down. Maybe there was a penalty that we missed.
I believe there was a personal foul against Hadrin-Jefferson.
Yeah, that'll really hurt them as they go inside of the Hawks' 40-yard line.
Down to the 39-yard line.
So here the Lions trying to find a little momentum.
Bird in shotgun, trips down to the left, 1 receiver up top to the right. Looking, he's going to throw it in the flat to his back. It's Trevon Taplin, and Taplin gets hit in the backfield for a big loss. They're going to call that a 5-yard loss, maybe a 4-yard loss. Seeing where the official spot is, they're going to say he was down at the 44-yard line, so that is a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, man-to-man defense on that swing pass, and that play didn't really have much of a chance. Really, the best-case scenario would have been to drop it and force it incomplete, but maybe trying to make something out of nothing cost the team about 4 yards. Maybe even 5.
It's going to bring up 2nd down and long from the 44-yard line. Bird in its shotgun. 2 receivers up top, 2 down to the bottom. He's going to pass, stepping, scanning. Deep pass over the center part of the field, broken up, no good. The intended receiver on the play, not able to haul that one in. And that was Scott Cockrell, the 2002 graduate.
Yeah, a lot of incomplete passes here, forcing this second quarter to be probably longer than the first quarter, and we're not even 5 minutes into the second quarter. So that passing game, which has worked for the Lions so far on this drive, will have to really come in clutch here as they have 3rd and long, and the yard to gain is the 30.
Huge third down here for the Lions. Roush lining up on the far side. Bird going to pass down on the near side. It's intercepted. And Hadrin-Jefferson has room to run on the far side, lowers his head down at the 40-yard line. A nice interception right there by Tevin Henry.
Yeah, not what you wanted right there if you're a Lions fan, I guess, and especially considering that the game is the way it is. They have to pass, and in that case, another interception will force the defense to come back out, and that Lion defense has to be getting tired. They spent a lot of time out there on the field, but the good news is their offense having all those incomplete passes and maybe the clock to stop for moving the chains a couple times, that really does give them a little bit of a breath.
So Hadrin-Jefferson will take over on their own 40-yard line. The last 2 drives by the Lions resulted in interceptions. And we may have a timeout on the field.
They need to get the chain gang going in the right direction.
Yeah, that's what they're waiting on here. And the chain gang definitely on the wrong side. They just forgot to move one stick to the other side. Now things are in motion. On the near side for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, Krista Arman, also another receiver down. One up top to the left. And looks like a pistol formation here.
Oh, he's going under center.
He is going under center, beg your pardon. And a false start there. It looked like Hadrin-Jefferson jumped early. And no, they're going to call offsides against Granger.
They called the off. Looks like it looked like it was an offsides motion call for, but they pointed towards the Hawks. But offsides would obviously be in the Lions right now. It would be a false start against the Hawks, so the officials are discussing this one to get the call right.
Now they do appear to move it back 5, so it was a false start by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. That'll set them back to the 35-yard line.
Hadrin-Jefferson, 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15.
We'll take over here. Again, it's 1st down and 15. Handoff to the back. On the near side, it's Warnell. And Warnell picking up heavy yardage down to the 44-yard line.
Tackled by Kyle Tucker.
So a nice pickup of yardage there, about 9 on the play. Big pickup by Warnell. He's had some great runs here so far this afternoon. Tyrell Watson lines up now as receiver. 2 receivers down to the near side, 2 up top to the left. Belika in shotgun. The back move that time. Taking a step was Mike Warnell, and that should be another false start, and it is, and that'll set him back 5.
Yeah, geez, that first quarter, as we were talking about, went by pretty quick. This second quarter probably going to be triple, if not quadruple the time of that first quarter with all these penalties and passes and just little breaks in the action.
Penalties and passes making the second quarter slow as molasses.
Did you just come up with that? That's actually pretty good.
Ball on the 39-yard line. We got to have a little fun up here. On the near side hash mark, Velika in at shotgun. 2 receivers down on the near side, one receiver up top to the right. Now they move another receiver out on the far side. That's Marlon Lindsay, who sang the national anthem. Valika passing on the far side, has his man, incomplete. No call on the play. And that's going to fall incomplete. Looked like he could have been drugged down early before the ball got to him, but no call on the play. Christopher Darman not able to hold on to it and bring it in. It's going to bring up second down. Actually, it should be third down and 11 for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks.
If I'm the Hawks, I don't know why they're going away from the running game, because they looked like they were really establishing it well, and now they're kind of playing into the Lions' hands, stopping the clock with that incomplete pass and breaking it one down closer to a turnover or a forced punt.
Valika in it, shotgun, trips up top. One receiver down to the left. Has his back offset to his left, looking. And he's going to pass in the flat and overthrows his receiver, but able to hold on to it. Dancing around, he has the first down. The shake and bake Warnell has been on fire this ball game. 2 touchdowns and now able to haul it in for a Hadrin-Jefferson Hawk first down at the 49-yard line of the Granger Lions. Wow.
Yeah, great job bobbling that pass, able to hold on to it. And in a case where we've seen a lot of incomplete passes, that could have been easily just dropped to the ground. He didn't really care about his own safety while he was focusing on catching that ball, and he was able to find a little running lane as soon as he had it secured and pick up that first down. And looks like he's on the Lions side of the field too. So I think that running game might have to come back into play here for the next couple downs.
Warnell, a big first down. Valika lines up under center. The handoff to his back. Dancing around, and this time stopped, but not after a gain of about 3 on the play. That was Warnell again with the run there.
Solid gain on first down right there, and I think that's going to be essential to keep this clock moving. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts left. Although I want to say the Lions used one of them earlier. Guess they didn't take it down.
Never took it down. It was a gain of 2 on the play. It's going to bring up second down and 8 for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Just under 8 minutes now, and the Hawks lead 14-0. Thanks for watching Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports. Rob Hipp alongside Carl Schoening, Rick Epstein, the public address announcer here at beautiful Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex. Again, a special thanks to those folks at Round Rock ISD and Mr. Dwayne Wyrick. Now a flag on the play, and it's going to be a false start again. So that's about the 3rd false start we have seen on this drive by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. You would think a team that's been in it this long, you know, playing 21 games here, that they would have a little more.
Yeah, that looked like it was on the wing right. Yeah, you have a wing out there on the right side. He's going to be a lead blocker here, and I think he might have flinched.
Second down and 12. Valika hands off to Kennebrew. Kennebrew has room. Kennebrew has the first down, still on his feet across the 30-yard line. Another big run, and you talked about it earlier, Carl. The running game has been on fire. The passing game, not so much. They go back to the run. They pick up the first down on 3rd down. Now they pick up the big first down on 2nd down and long.
Yeah, and I think in this case they're going to tempo them right here and try and keep this run game going.
I do. No huddle. Clock at 7 minutes. Man in motion is Krista Arman. Lines up in a tight set here. The direct snap this time to the back. Dancing his way around. Lowers his head. Still on his feet. Maybe enough for the first down. He does have it. Down to the 19. No, they're going to call him down at the 17-yard line. What a great job right there as the direct snap goes to Krista Armand.
Yeah, they're going to keep the clock running. Kind of a trick play and really smart one in this case. Like we said, they were tempoing him, so the defense didn't have as much time to figure out their assignment. And then they kind of skipped a step and went right to the running back, and he found a lane, took advantage of it. Now it's red zone here for the Hawks.
So in the red zone at the 17-yard line. First down and 10 for the Hawks, who are threatening again. They lead this contest 14-0. Valika in shotgun. This time he's going to hand off to his back. It's Thomas. And Thomas, the tank engine, trying to barrel his way down. puts on the cattle guard, and gets down to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, you called him the tank right there. He's a big boy running with that ball, and I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe gets one more touch right here trying to get that first down, and they can get a first and goal at around the 7.
And they call him down actually at the 11-yard line. Second down and a few to go for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Breaking huddle. One receiver down to the right, one up top to the left. Velika has 2 backs lined up behind him. In shotgun. The snap, the handoff to his back on the right side. Powering his way inside. He's going to go in for the touchdown. A big run right there by another one by Dominic Thomas, his 3rd touchdown of the game.
Yeah, after he broke that initial tackle, it was an arm tackle. You can't arm tackle a guy that big, and he was able to just get clear running into the end zone. And like you said, his 3rd of the game, he's got to be MVP. And for the Hawks to maybe add on 2 more points right here, this could be a devastating first half for the Lions.
I believe that was from the 8-yard line, so an 8-yard run right there by Kennebrew. Wow. His 3rd touchdown of the game, Carl. And the Hawks lead 20-0. They'll go for 2 here. 2 receivers to either side. Warnell is the back as Velika's in shotgun. Velika gonna pass. Looking for the slant pattern. Now he has to pick it up, and Velika in the corner. The 2-point conversion caught and good by DeArmond.
Really good job to be patient right there, extend the play by running out towards the sideline, and he knew he'd find one receiver open. I imagine that's part of the play. If it extends, you just kind of scramble out to the back of the end zone, and really solid job right there. You know, it was only a 2-point conversion, but the last time they were stopped on that jumbo set we talked about, so a pass, right option right there, and the Hawks really separating themselves from the Lions now.
And once again, Carl, it was the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks scoring off of a Granger Lion interception. Wasn't a pick 6, of course, but that turnover gave the ball back to the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. They took over at their own 40-yard line and drove 60 yards down the field. It was an 8-yard touchdown run by Dominic Thomas. That was his 3rd touchdown, and he scored all the touchdowns this afternoon for the Hawks. 5:22 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, we finally got an offensive touchdown right there, or we haven't seen any defensive touchdowns, I should say, but finally got a touchdown there in the 2nd quarter, and that drive really picked up the pace of the game.
Absolutely.
And the Hawks, they can smell that final round here if they can really separate themselves here in this 2nd quarter. Already up 3 touchdowns.
I believe it's Judas Bertrand set to kick off for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. A line driving kick. It's going to take a few bounces over the head of a Granger line and finally received around the 25-yard line. Nice blocking up front, able to pick up a few more yards as Gamble. And they're going to mark him down around the 33-yard line, and that's where the Granger Lions are going to have to take over. And they're down big, 22-0, with 5:16 to go in the first half.
Yeah, not sure if that was an intentional squib kick, but it gets the job done, not much of a return. And here with 5:16, the Lions, they've been passing the ball a lot because they kind of have to find themselves down in this hole, but it might be good to mix it up a little bit. They have some big offensive linemen. If they can run behind those men up front and create some holes, they can pick positive yards up every time, but they're going to have to pass it a few times here on this drive if they want to score.
They're going to mark him out at the 32-yard line. 68 yards to go for the Granger Lions. They've got their work cut out for them. They break huddle. We're on the far side is Roush. 2 receivers up top to the right, 2 down to the left. Quarterback under center, 2 backs behind him, and now the Granger Lions are going to call a, well, it looked like they were going to call a timeout. He made the motion.
I can't really see a play clock anywhere on the field.
Yeah, they're not running. They didn't run play clock yesterday. The officials are keeping the play clock, and finally somebody sees the timeout by the Granger Lions. We'll take a timeout as well. 5:16 to go. Again, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks lead the Granger Lions 22-0. You're watching Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports. This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by the Shoning Hip Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, use of sound bites and interviews, and use of any other content, including audio or video, without the direct written consent and permission by the Shoning Hip Network is strictly prohibited and protected by federal and copyright laws. All rights are reserved by the Shoning Hip Network and SHNSports.com. Welcome back to Gridiron Glory Alumni Football. The Granger Lions with their possession here, and it's going to be a false start to start things off for the Lions. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10.
False start, Granger, 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15. Ball is now placed.
Yeah, that's the last thing you need here. 5 minutes, 12 seconds left until halftime, and you're down 22 points. Everybody needs to be on the same page. You need to execute flawlessly on this drive to narrow the gap and get on the scoreboard before you head into halftime.
First down and 15 for the Granger Lions. Quarterback under center, 2 receivers stacked behind each other on the far side. This time the handoff, and the Hawks read it beautifully, as there was nowhere to go for Trayvon Taplin on that drive. He's going to be brought back for a big loss down to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, that play was blown up as soon as the handoff was made, and worst of all, the clock keeps rolling right here, and the timeouts aren't being taken off, but they only have 1 left, so they want to pick up this first down before they really use any timeouts. Here with 2nd down, and looks like probably 20 to go. They have to really start airing it out and making smart, efficient passes that'll lead to yards after the catch.
The Lions haven't been able to get anything going on offense yet, and when they have, they've turned it over on interceptions. 2 receivers up top to the right, high snap. This is going to be a handoff to the back. Nice little end-around play, but nothing there, and a flag was thrown around the 20-yard line, so that may be a hold. We'll see what the call is.
Yeah, they tried that end-around reverse and didn't really go anywhere, as looked like the right side of the line was in a contain, and they stopped it from really advancing. But this flag after the play might be a hit after the ball was dead, kind of a late hit. I didn't hear any whistle before it was thrown, but the official will have to talk about this one.
We'll see what it is. A personal foul, face mask against the Hawks, and that'll be a 15-yard penalty and a first down for the Granger Lions.
Yeah, big break right there for the Lions. They're able to erase some yards. They're not even going to get to where the first down marker was, but obviously a penalty like that, automatic first down, and gives them a little bit of life here with 4:18 left.
So the Lions finally get the benefit of the break on the penalty. Goes in their favor this time. And the Red Sox will trot their way up to around the 38-yard line. They're going to mark it down actually at the 39. So that's where they'll start here. First down and 10 after the face mask penalty against Hadrin-Jefferson. The officials signal for the clock to be started. Bird in at shotgun. 2 receivers up top to the right, 1 down to the left. Has a back offset pistol to his right. He's going to look to pass here. Pressure, has a man open, it's Gamble. Gamble has it around the 30-yard line, still on his feet. Gamble across the 10, and Gamble is going to score the touchdown for the Granger Lions. What a pass right there. Gamble backpedaling, spinning around, and a big touchdown from the 39-yard line of their own territory.
Yeah, great play right there. They were looking for 1 shot deep on first down. That's a great call. You're going to, like I said earlier, you're going to have to pass down with only 4 minutes left in the half, and they were able to go for the home run shot and knock it down. Luckily, I was able to catch that on the camera, as that was a very deep pass. He went for his deep threat past the safeties, and he had nobody in front of him once he made that catch and was just able to outrun everybody. That's some momentum going into the locker room. Now if the defense can get a stop and they can complete this two-point conversion, we have a little bit of a ball game here. If I'm not mistaken, they also get the ball to start the second half.
Absolutely right, and I believe that was a 61-yard touchdown for Gamble. They took a gamble and it paid off. Two-point conversion here under center. The handoff to the back, and the Hawks are going to stop him. No good. It's Trevon Taplin not able to get across. But still, what a pass right there. 61 yards from the hands of Bird to Gamble. And they finally get on the board. The Hawks lead 22-6 with 3:57 to go. We'll keep it right here.
Yeah, definitely a positive play right there for the Lions. They weren't able to get the point after, but they were able to get on the scoreboard, and that's what we were talking about they needed to do. And they almost gave the Hawks a little bit too much time. The Hawks, who have been working out of the huddle, have shown a little bit of no-huddle offense. They're going to get probably a 2-minute drill opportunity if they can pick up a first down or two. I wouldn't rule out them scoring a touchdown yet, but if the Lions can get a stop and another shot at the end zone and even score perhaps, that could be a big momentum shift as we go into halftime. And that's not out of the realm of possibility. They're playing down as they've turned the ball over a few times. It might be the Lions' chance turn to get a turnover or two.
The Hawks, that run game has been effective for them, as Warnell has 3 touchdowns. You wonder if they're going to keep going in his direction on the running game since it's been so effective.
I would recommend using the running game. If you don't score a touchdown here, it's not the end of the world. The Lions only have 1 timeout left for the half, and I think keeping the clock moving with this lead, 22-6, is probably the best thing to do.
Granger set to kick here from the, for some reason it's on the 35. It's normally on the 40. Ball up and away. It's fielded by Hadrin-Jefferson at the 25-yard line. Running around on the far side. And still on his feet. What a run back right here by Hadrin-Jefferson. It's Blackman. Blackman is going to go in and score the touchdown on the run back. What a run right there. A huge return from the 25-yard line. That's a 75-yard touchdown return by Keon Blackman. Wow.
He jogs away as if he's done it before. No flags on the field, and the Lions, who were able to finally score here in the first half, don't even get a chance to go back on defense before the Hawks are able to score again, and that's just kind of a backbreaker right there if you're wearing black.
And again, that ball was kicked off from the 35-yard line instead of the 40.
I didn't see any flags on either of the plays, the touchdown or the point after attempt, so you're right. I'm not quite sure what happened right there.
I think just maybe a mistake by the Granger Lions if there was no penalty.
Yeah, it's your responsibility to catch where the ball is marked.
That could have played a factor in that kick return just now.
Yeah, he also had a lot of room. He was able to find some holes and walk in uncontested after about the 20, so still really good run.
Velika under center, pitches back to his back, and he is going to go in for the touchdown, or beg your pardon, for the 2-point conversion on the right side. Another job by Warnell there to score that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, nice wide angle to go for the pylon on the right side. He was able to outrun the defenders, catch them off the angles, and really solid job here to build this 30-6 lead.
That came on their 6th possession of the ball game, their 3rd possession of the second half. And so the last 3 possessions, we've seen scores. 2 by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, 1 by the Granger Lions. It's been a pretty busy second quarter here. 3:42 to go. The Hawks lead 30-6. And George Cox should make his way up here at halftime. We'll wait to see. We've got a lot to go over here. As Mr. JoJo Velika put together some talking notes for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. We'll be sure to read through some of those as we go along. Mike Warnell can really play any position on the field. He caught the game-clinching 23-yard two-point conversion against Silsby in the corner of the end zone, and he currently plays for the Port Arthur Titans semi-pro team. The ball set to kick off here. I guess they are kicking off from the 35 because Hadrin-Jefferson kicked off from there as well. The ball goes over, sails to around the 22, takes a roll. Granger has it. Trying to sweep around a few defenders. Still on his feet. He's going to cross over the 25-yard line. A nice return right there by the Granger Lions.
Lions have 3:34 left, and they already used their deep bomb pass. Maybe they have another one in store here on first down. It wouldn't be the worst idea, but at the same time, you don't want to really give the Hawks another opportunity to score. So running it and just going into the locker rooms accepting a 30-6 score might be the best option for the Lions. Let's see what they elect to do.
Well, we have a few moments here. Wanted to thank our sponsors at Gridiron Glory Alumni Football, Earl's Lube and Tire, Full Bore Sportswear, IHS Fan, Leander Liquors, Magnum Custom Trailers, SHN Sports, and Sideline Sports Grill. Thanks to those wonderful folks for making this broadcast and this game, more importantly, possible today. So the ball is going to be at the 26-yard line. 7th possession here for the Lions. Quarterback in shotgun. Going to pitch out to his back on the right side. It's Taplin, and Taplin once again stopped. He hasn't had much of a running game today as the Hawks have been able to swarm him every time. Maybe picks up one on the play.
Yeah, stretch out there to the far side. They were trying to maybe turn the corner, weren't quite able to, and they still keep the ball inbounds and the clock's still moving. Like I said, Lions' best option right here is to hope they pick up the first down and maybe just go into the locker room and get the ball in the second half, trying to figure it out. Plenty of time left for a comeback.
Just under 3 minutes now. Again, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks lead 30-6. We'll get our scoreboard updated here. We were a little bit behind on it. Ball on the far side, hash mark. Bird in shotgun. One receiver down, type formation. He's going to pass, rolls out, left side, into the hands of Gamble, who broke a tackle, still on his feet, able to pick up yards after the catch down near the 40-yard line. Remember, he had that 75-yard touchdown reception moments ago, and they're going to mark him out of bounds at around the 43-yard line.
Yeah, that stops the clock and gets you the first down. So if you're the Lions, you're kind of happy with that. If you can pick up that first down and stop the clock, that's really smart here. And they're going to keep the clock moving right now, it looks like. So not necessarily the biggest victory, but still a first down's positive for the Lions. And they haven't even set up the first down, so they're going to be going without the chain gang moving.
Yeah, they gave him the first down at the 45. The handoff to the back. Actually, it's a fake over to Gamble, who just caught the reception, and he's going to be brought down for a 5-yard loss back at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, play action, complete pass. Now the clock is still rolling. I don't know why, but the scoreboard over there says 33-6 is the score now.
Yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah, they just updated it, so we'll double check that at halftime. It's still 30-6 on our count.
Yeah, I think he bumped the score there. Now he takes it back down to 30.
Yeah, I was about to say, Hawks here have an opportunity to go in with a big lead. I didn't realize it would be another field goal added on top here, but the Lions, I don't know, they're keeping the ball in the play field, and I think the best option really is for them to just take this, go for another deep bomb here on this play. I think this would be the best opportunity to go for the end zone from your own side of the field.
Ball on the near side hash mark. Instead, they're going to pass here. The sweep over to the far side, and another loss right there. Coming up big with the stop was Sam Nill for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, and the Granger Lions not able to get anything going on their running game. It's going to bring up third down and long with 1:03 to go.
Yeah, you don't want to let the Hawks get the ball back here as we're under a minute. They're probably going to use the whole play clock right here, have another run play, and if the Hawks want to use a timeout, they're not using any of their timeouts. If they wanted to use some timeouts and try and get the ball back before halftime, they could. They're not going for it.
It's the ball just beyond the 40-yard line. Deep snap back and a penalty flag. It's going to be a false start against the Granger Lions. That's going to set them back 5 more. So really hurting themselves here with 39 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, in this case, like I said, hand off and go into the locker rooms, best case, unless they want to take this one opportunity. This is their final chance to go for a deep shot down the field.
Low snap. They are going to pass here. Left side, down to the center field. Has a man. Incomplete. Broken up on the play by number 25, Tevin Henry. The intended receiver, Granger line there, number 7. And unfortunately, we don't have his name.
Looks like this is going to be a punt here with 28 seconds left, so the Lions will give the Hawks the ball back because you can't really hand it off anymore and let the clock run out. That's what I thought they were going to do, and then just let fourth down, beat will remain fourth down until the end of the half. But let's see what they like to do here because it doesn't look like they're going to punt.
They had a net gain of 9 yards on that play, and they are going to punt here with 28 seconds to go. Actually, no, I beg your pardon, they're going to go for it.
Looks like we have their false start. That backs them up, and Hawks here with 28 seconds to work with. Maybe get the ball back on a turnover on downs. Really good field position if they were able to get it inside of the Lions' own 30. And there will be a play action and incomplete. So, geez, the Hawks have 24 seconds to work with. They can probably get off a complete set of downs here. So maybe not the best management right there for the Lions, as looks like the Hawks have it at the 29-yard line to start things off. Here with 24 seconds left. Plenty of time left here for the Hawks to add on to their 30-6 lead.
Thanks for stepping in there, Carl. Had to have a few words with Mr. George Cox. As you just stated, the Hawks have a chance here to score. 24 seconds to go on the 29-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to have a few shots to try and get into the end zone here. Definitely pick up the first down and run out of bounds. A couple out routes would be a good idea right now to get it closer.
Valika looking center field, has his man completed just beyond the 10-yard line. That was a catch there by DeArmond.
Yeah.
And where did they start this drive out from, Carl? Do you remember?
No, that was the first play right there. It looked like they started at the 28, 29-yard line, and they should stop the clock. They do at 14 seconds here, and they have some timeouts left as well. I'm not quite sure how many, but they can use a couple timeouts, maybe throw an out route here just to pick up a few yards, and might even be able to run it in. They've had a running back who's had quite the game in Thomas.
We did have some number updates, so that number 7 for Granger Lines is Marcus Hayes. So we appreciate George Cox bringing those numbers up to us. That's why I had to step away for a few moments. We want to make sure that we get things as accurate as possible. The ball at the 11-yard line. Again, 14 seconds to go. Hadrin-Jefferson with the ball. And as you just stated, they do have some timeouts left. They break huddle here. Valika's going to be in shotgun. Trips down to the right. 2 receivers up top to the left. Empty backfield. Steps back, rolls, fumbles a ball around. He's got guys coming behind him. He's going to have to move around. And, boy, he gets taken down. Immediately calls a timeout.
Yes.
But what a big tackle right there by Ira Franklin, the 95 alum right there, Carl.
Yeah, sack probably the worst thing that could happen right there. They had a timeout left, but probably time for 2 more passes. I would say 1 if you're going to play it safe. And right now, the Hawks, given this opportunity that they probably shouldn't have had to score, I would say they play it safe and look for a play to develop. They can extend it and look for a couple guys in the end zone. That would be the best case scenario. I imagine the Lions are going to bring a lot of pressure, so they force the ball to be gotten out of the backfield quickly no matter who's going to be throwing it. And,
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go 5 wide here.
6 seconds on the clock, empty backfield. So look for the pass here from Velika in shotgun. He steps back. He's looking left side. Has a man up. And is it caught? No. Incomplete. Broken up. And there's still 1 second left on the clock. Nice defense by Granger. The intended receiver was Christopher DeArmond, and he's a little slow getting up on the far side.
Yeah, smart play right there to pretty much just run a route to the pylon and throw it up for him. It went incomplete, but that was real close to being another 6 points for the Hawks. And lucky for them, 1 more second left means 1 more play and 1 more shot at the end zone here to really bring this lead into the halftime at 30 points, really.
And they have been playing lights out. And speaking of lights out, the lights are out here at Kelly Reeves. It's a little dark out here, but no reason to turn them on yet. They had them on yesterday.
The second quarter has lasted about an hour.
Just over 5 p.m. here Central Time. 1 second to go in the half. The Hawks trying to punch it in 1 more time. This time Velika's going to have a back offset to his right, two receivers to either side. Velika in at shotgun. He's going to pass. Looking, scanning, and he is going to be sacked here to end. He actually fumbles the ball. Granger falls on it. Velika able to get back on top of it. And that'll end the half. The Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks lead it at halftime 30-6. We'll be back with a little halftime discussion. You're watching Gridiron Glory Alumni Football here, presented by SHN Sports. This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by the Shoning Hip Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, use of sound bites and interviews, and use of any other content, including audio or video, without the direct written consent and permission by the Shoning Hip Network is strictly prohibited and protected by federal and copyright laws. All rights are reserved by the Shoning Hip Network and SHNSports.com. We're at halftime here on Gridiron Glory Alumni Sports, presented by SHN Sports. I'm Rob Hipp alongside Carl Schoening, where the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks have a commanding 30-6 lead at halftime. Granger will be set to get the ball back, though, as they deferred. They'll get the ball back in the third quarter. It is a 10-minute halftime. And Carl, what are your thoughts on this first half? What a great job running by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks.
Yeah, dominant performance so far for the Hawks. They can smell that championship game coming up. They just have to really have good clock management here. They had a chance that they shouldn't have gotten there in the end of the second quarter to really get about 4 more shots into the end zone. And unfortunately for the Hawks, but fortunately for the Lions, that lead didn't get any bigger.
Absolutely. Well, JoJo Velika put together some bios for some of the players for the Hawks, and we wanted to read through those. And just very quickly, we'll go through a few of them here. Donald the Train Lane, he went off to play ball in the Houston area and just coming back to Southeast Texas last year. He's a big hitter that is stepping in to help the D line this game and moving from his offensive line spot. Marlon Lindsay, of course, he's got a future in singing too, man. And right here, he's the backup quarterback and starting tight end, has a future in the music industry, and he also sang the national anthem. He served 6 years in the military, Carl, so a special extra thanks to Marlon Lindsay for his selfless sacrifice and serving our country. Deion McIntyre, the fastest player on the Hawks. Matt Moles, the original member of the Hawks alumni team, he only missed 1 of the 21 games, and that's very impressive because these guys have full-time jobs and many of them with families. He's at the center one game. It was the only time that JoJo Velika was sacked more than once, and he actually got sacked 7 times. He's the toughest lineman in the Hawks and practices barefooted. He has practiced barefoot and rides a Harley and works at Harley-Davidson. He also serves as a bouncer. I wouldn't want to mess with him. He's also a member of the All Gridiron Glory team. We'll talk about that in a few moments. Sean the Hammer Neal, converted from tight end, moved to linebacker due to injuries, is now one of the toughest linebackers in all of these alumni games. He's a huge hitter and a great tackler. Nate Parker, he left Hadrin-Jefferson to go to Legacy Christian Academy, where he earned All-Star State honors as offensive guard. Jason Prevey, Mr. Excitement. I like these names, man, that Velika and these guys have for him. Plays with more energy and passion than any other Hawk. Todd Rigsby, we've called his name a few times today. He plays corner and safety, played 2 years at Howard Payne. Greg Sabi, probably the all-around best tackler for the Hawks. His linebacker instincts are rare and always seems to be where the ball is. Dominic the Destroyer Thomas. Boy, and he has been destroying today with those 3 touchdowns on the game so far. And he has just been unstoppable. The baddest boy on the Hawks team. He sent more people to the ER playing running back, middle linebacker than any other Hawk. And seriously, Velika says, I'm not joking. If he gets 10 to 12 carries, the other team loses a few players on defense. And so we'll watch out for that. Mr. JoJo Velika himself, as we stated earlier, started the team, currently the head coach, offensive coordinator, recruiter, and organizer, played in all their 21 games. He started as an outside linebacker, then moved to safety after 3 quarterbacks went down. He took over the quarterback position for the past 18 games. Carl, he's been named the MVP 9 times at 3 different positions. The best game is a 4-touchdown, 0-interception performance against Clemens in Dallas Cowboys Stadium. He's also the oldest member of the team at the age of 41. He got picked up and played the 2012 season with the SETX Seminoles as safety and offensive linebacker. He got promoted to the defensive coordinator. His brother's out there playing also, Mr. Matt Velika, and he's playing the line. Actually, the Hawks' all-time leading leader in interceptions with 5. Few more here. Mike Warnell, he can play any position on the field. He caught the game-clinching 23-yard 2-point conversion against Silsby. We talked about that earlier. T.J. Watson, the youngest player on the Hawks. He was on the Hawks team that made the back-to-back runs 3 rounds deep in the 4A playoffs back in 2013-14. Ken White plays nose guard and offensive guard. Played 1 year on defense for the SETX Seminoles. So few of these guys play together on that SETX Seminoles team. Blake Yarborough, when he isn't sacking quarterbacks, he's DJing at local hot spots in Beaumont. And then finally on my page here, Damon Young, 18th game for Hadrin-Jefferson. He's a member of that all Gridiron Glory team, the fastest corner on the roster, captain on defense. He also owns a plumbing company, and he actually never played football in high school, but you'd never know it.
Huh.
So, Carl?
Yeah, there's a few more Hadrin-Jefferson members here. We have some info on Michael Aldridge. He's Mr. Rugby. He craves contact and looks for someone to hit on every play. He still plays rugby and, amazingly, still has all of his teeth. Steve Bell, this is his 2nd game of the Hawks. Big, strong, physical receiver with great hands. He's almost impossible for other corners to jam. Got Judas the Beast Bertrand, captain on defense. He can play any spot on the front 7. And with the Star Wars movie just coming out, he looks very similar to Chewbacca. I didn't write these. I'm not kidding.
I think JoJo wrote all these. So.
Yeah. You have Keon Blackman, who is one of the greatest offensive threats in the state of Texas. He is human joystick. He holds the Hadrin-Jefferson record with 10 touchdowns, including 2 pick-sixes and a kickoff return for a touchdown. Member of the All Gridiron Glory team, and he played semi-pro and arena ball. Skylar Connor is a recent Hadrin-Jefferson graduate and playing his first alumni game out here. His linebacker coach at Hadrin-Jefferson, Coach Jeff Lee, calls Connor one of the best linebackers he's ever coached. Zane Connor is the little brother of the bad boy linebacker Skylar Connor, but there is nothing little about Zane. He is 6'5", 240 defensive end. His nickname is J.J. Watt for his ability to knock down so many passes, and he was on the Hawks team that just made back-to-back runs 3 rounds deep in the 4A playoffs in 13 and 14. So good job for Zane Connor, and it looks like he was a great player out there. Chris Stick DeArmond turned down a contract to play in Lufkin to pursue school. Best hands on the team and is averaging 28 yards per reception, 5 TDs, and has 40-inch vertical to go along with his 6'5" frame. He made that Odell Beckham-type one-handed catch against Sispy in December. And also you have Ken Granger out there, the best press corner on the team. He has a very long reach. In 7 games, he has never given up a touchdown, so that's pretty good to have on your defense. Tevin Henry was recruited his junior season to go to Legacy Christian Academy, where he earned All-State defensive back his senior year and honorable mention as wide receiver. He had a partial scholarship to play at Oklahoma Panhandle University. Also played safety alongside JoJo with the Seminoles. So there you go. Chris Herman, he's the brother of Terry Herman, who we'll get to in a second. Hadrin-Jefferson has 3 sets of brothers playing on this team. Terry Herman, Mr. Reliable, has played 4 games and never missed a practice, can play anywhere on the offensive line. Chris Johnson is the fastest defensive lineman, 2nd all-time leader for the Hawks in sacks and tackles. Got an offer to play ball at Lamar, also played 1 year of semi-pro ball. And then O'Shea Kennebrew, he is the silent assassin. He and Dominic Thomas make for a great 1-2 punch at running back. He is so low to the ground and has great balance and breaks more tackles than any other offensive player on the Hawks.
Well, Carl, thanks for that, and a special thanks to Mr. JoJo Velika for writing all that up. We'll probably take a break here, about 2 minutes to go until the kickoff of the third quarter. Again, you're watching Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports.
Before we get started for the second half, head on over to the concession stand one last time. Look under the blue awning, near the flagpole. Lots of great stuff at the concession stand. We'll get started here with the second half just shortly.
Just about to kick things off in the third quarter. The Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks lead the Granger Lions 30-6. Again, thanks for watching Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports. A special thanks to our good friend Mr. George Cox, as always, for the fine work that he does. And hey, if you're out there interested in knowing how your team can get back on the gridiron, if you want to relive the glory days, then feel free to visit gridironglory.com. You can see it on your screen there. Get back to the gridiron and relive your glory days. You can register today at www.gridironglory.com. Again, that website address is gridironglory.com. And again, if all it takes is one person to get interested, and from there everybody can kind of get the ball rolling, just feel free again to visit gridironglory.com. We're just moments away from being set to kick off here. Once again, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks lead the Grangers Lions 30-6. In that first quarter, there was a total of 6 possessions, 3 by each team. The only scoring, though, came on the Hadrin-Jefferson touchdown 1-yard run by Dominic Thomas. They also converted a 2-point conversion, and they led 8-0 at the end of one quarter. In the second quarter, Hadrin-Jefferson again scored. This time it was once again Dominic Thomas on a 7-yard run. At that point, they led 14-0, and that was followed by an interception. Before that, actually, that's how they set up to score that one. And then Granger again on their 5th possession, another interception right at the 40-yard line. A nice interception by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. That was Tevin Henry. And then the Hawks able to score again off of that turnover. It was another run by Dominic Thomas, this time an 8-yard run. And the 2-point conversion was good as well. And they led at that point 22-0. Finally, Granger gets on the board. It was a 61-yard touchdown pass out of the hands of Jim Bird to number 82 for the Granger Lions, Patrick Gamble. And again, that was a 61-yard pass. The Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks led at that point 22-6. And then immediately following, a 75-yard touchdown kickoff return by Keon Blackman. The two-point conversion was good by Warnell. And at that point, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks led 30-6 punt. And then they had a chance to score again, Carl, right before the halftime, but they weren't able to convert there. And that's where we set right here, 30-6.
Yeah, the Lions really kind of dodged a bullet right there. Some poor clock management, and they elected to pass on third down with like 27 seconds left. So then when they turned it over on downs after the incomplete pass, they gave the Hawks about 30 seconds to get into the end zone from inside of the Lions' 30. And hey,
and I thought that the Hawks Granger deferred.
Perhaps we were mistaken right there. We trust them. That the Lions would be protesting if they didn't get the ball first. So there you go. It'll be the Hawks here looking to add on to their 30-6 lead, and they're probably going to keep the ball on the ground here and burn up as much clock as they can every time they have possession.
So just underway in the third quarter, a grounding kick, and it's fielded by Hadrin-Jefferson. Almost losing it was Marlon Lindsay. He's able to fall on it, and that's going to be great field position starting out for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, even more reason to run the ball as they have good field position. They're probably only going to want to pick up a few yards at a time. As long as they get that first down, they can really use all 4 downs and not be afraid to turn it over on downs. They can control this ball game, and they start by eating up as much clock as they can. Only 2 seconds came off there as they had to jump on top of that ball. But once this ball is snapped here, they don't want to stop until they score a touchdown or the other team, the Lions, get the possession.
Yeah, in that second quarter, I think it lasted almost an hour, if not longer. So hopefully we'll see things run a little quicker here in the second half. Again, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks have the ball at the 50-yard line on the near side hash mark as the lights finally come on here at Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex. It'll take them a little bit to get warmed up.
Yeah, they're flickering, though.
That's a good sign. Velika under center. 2 receivers down to the right, 1 up top to the left. 2 backs behind him. This time he's going to hand off to one of his backs, and he gets stopped immediately. And they're still pushing him back. They should give him forward progress to around the 48-yard line, and they do. And on that play, Kennebrew had nowhere to go. Great defense by the Granger Lions, pushing him back. We'll see where they mark it at. They're going to give him a 1-yard loss. It'll be second down and 11.
Yeah, but, they're doing what they want to right there. And the Lions, they're coming out inspired right now, not giving up anything here on the first play. And if they can get a stop here before a first down is gained by the Hawks and then score, this game is interesting again.
Again, it is second down and 11 on the near side hash mark at the 49-yard line in their own territory. Velika, then shotgun, 2 backs to either side, has 2 receivers down on the near side, 1 up top to the left. This time he's going to hand back off again to Kennebrew. Kennebrew trying to dance around, breaks the initial tackle. The big man still on his feet. And he's going to pick up enough close to the first down, which is at the 40-yard line. They're going to call him down at the 39-yard line in Granger Lion territory.
Yeah, really what you want right there is picking up just shy a yard. Going to start the clock again here, as it looked like there might have been an injured player, but he bounced right back up.
Roderick Davis for the Lions got plowed over, and if anybody gets hit by Kennebrew, they're going to have a hard time getting up. The ball in between the hash marks now. It'll be third down and about 1 for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Velika under center. 2 backs behind him. He's going to hand off to one of his backs. It's Kennebrew, and Kennebrew should have enough for the first down. It's going to be close.
Oh, it looks like they're calling fourth down.
They may mark him just a few inches short of that first down marker at the 40-yard line.
Little quarterback sneak time right here to pick up the inch that you need on the chain.
So they're going to go for it, of course, here. And
good advantage of getting that great field position at the 50 to start this drive.
it is fourth down And the keeper, and Velika dives ahead for the first down. And, boy, he picks up more than a few inches. He picks up about 3 on that keeper.
Yeah, that's one of the more efficient keepers you would think, especially considering that they would really load that middle of the line on the defensive side. I guess they were maybe caught off guard just by a moment. And it looks like there might be some rain heading this way, so we might see the ball on the ground a lot more here if this is coming our direction.
The ball now on the 37-yard line of the Granger Lions. Velika in its shotgun. He's got 2 receivers lined up to either side, has a back offset to his left. That's Warnell. Instead, he hands off to one of his receivers on the end around. And driving around is Keon Blackman, and Blackman, a nice gain on the play down near the 30-yard line. They're going to call him out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That'll bring up second down and about 2, so an 8-yard gain on the play there.
Yeah, they'll hold the clock up here, but overall the Hawks are doing exactly what they want in terms of just picking up positive yards, keeping the ball on the ground.
And more importantly, as you just said, that clock running, closing in on 11 minutes here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I guess the official didn't mark him out of bounds.
Velika pass, and he throws an interception. Miscommunication there. Granger has it, has room to run across the 40-yard line. A nice interception there by Leonard Hinojosa. And, boy, there was some miscommunication on that play by Velika, and his intended receiver didn't even see the ball coming and threw it right into the hands of a Granger Lion, Hinojosa.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say that one is on the play call, and also Velika looked like he threw it right to the defensive player. And like I was saying, you don't want to go away from the run. That's the worst-case scenario, and that's a little more likely than you want to admit when you pass the ball that you turn the ball over. And the Lions, who looked like they were about to get another score on them, and 30 points and a half is probably insurmountable if you haven't scored 10 to this point. They get a little bit of life here on this drive. They're probably going to have to pass the ball to keep the clock from really running. But like I said, they got the stop, and now if they get a score, there's plenty of time for a comeback.
And, Carl, we see number 17, Trenton Gamble, making his way onto the field for the Granger Lions. He lines up on the near side alongside Marcus Hayes, Trenton, the brother of Patrick Gamble. Stepping back, the pass goes over to Hayes, and Hayes fighting through some defenders, making something out of nothing, and he is going to pick up a hard-fought 7 yards on the play.
Geez, that was a bubble screen there over to the far left sideline, and instead of trying to use his block, he saw that he wasn't going to get much. He took it back to the middle of the field and was able to really pick up some positive yards heading back towards his offensive line, and I don't think I've ever seen that off of a bubble screen.
Ran for about 20, but he gained 7, and a nice run or nice reception there, able to pick up some positive yards. 10:32 to go, the clock running. Again, Hendrickson leads. Hadrin-Jefferson leads 30-6. Burden shotgun, the handoff to his back. He fumbles the ball. And it looks like they're able to hold on to it, the Lions.
Yeah, good job to hop right back on top of it there out of the pistol. They looked like they were going to pitch it, stretch it out wide to the left side. Good job right there to really hold on to it and not have a turnover after just getting it back on the interception.
Unfortunately, the ball moves back to the 43-yard line, so a loss on the play of a few. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, passing down right here if you're a Lion.
Triplets are going to line up on the near side. One receiver up top to the right. It's Kyle Jenke. Burden at shotgun has a back beside him. He's going to pass, looking to the left side. Finally passes way over the hands, and it's an interception. Caught on the near side by Ken Granger. Granger still on his feet. He has one man to beat, and Granger is going to go in for the Hadrin-Jefferson pick 6. What a return right there by Ken Granger, the 2011 alum.
Yeah, another interception for this Hawks defense, and right there, that might be the straw that breaks the back for the Lions. I know there's plenty of time left, but pick 6 after another interception, and that was when the Lions needed to complete a pass, and unfortunately it's caught by the wrong side of the ball, and now it looks like the Hawks can add on to this 30-point lead with a point-after attempt.
That score 36-6 now as Jim Bird threw his third interception of the night. And not only his third, but two of those ran back for pick sixes.
Hawks kind of outsmarting themselves right there. They had three receivers on that left side, and they were able to kind of set up two of them to run down, try and spread out the defense, and it was a zone defense by the Hawks. They were able to pick it up and run it back.
And a correction on that, it was actually one pick six out of those three interceptions. The two-point conversion, the handoff, and finding his way in, using every muscle in his calves, able to make the two-point conversion there is Hadrin-Jefferson. And Steve Bell, who we've seen for the first time tonight, number 88. Nice job right there.
Yeah, and the Hawks can smell that championship game coming up here, and really with 9:18 left in the third, and the Hawks going to play defense one more time. If the Lions can't score, then this one could be over before we hit the fourth quarter.
We'll keep things right here. 9:18 to go in the third quarter. Hadrin-Jefferson, a huge 38-6 lead. And they're set to kick off here after that 41-yard touchdown return by Ken Granger. Nice pick six. So far, not just the offense doing things, but the defense and special teams as well. There was a 75-yard kickoff return earlier, and now a 41-yard pick six by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks.
Taking their time to kick this one away.
I believe that's Judas Bertrand out there kicking the ball. Another grounding kick. It's going to settle around the 25-yard line, and Granger Lions with it. On their return is Trevon Taplin, and Taplin still on his feet, finally brought down close to the 40-yard line in their own territory. And the officials are going to mark it right at the 40-yard line, Carl.
Yeah, not bad starting position, better than what the Lions have been getting most of this ball game, which is about 10 yards further back around the 30. They have to take advantage of it right here. It's do or die time, because when you find yourself down 32 points, you need to score on almost every possession you get the rest of the way.
This will be the 9th possession of the ball game for the Granger Lions. Their second possession here in the third period. Lining up two receivers to either side. Bird has a back offset to his left. The snap, he's scanning the field, rolling over to the right side, has room to pass. Now he's going to keep it. Trying to find some open yardage. Nice stiff arm, still on his feet. He picks up the first down into Hadrin-Jefferson territory. A nice run right there by Jim Bird on the quarterback keeper down to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, not a design keeper. Now we have flags coming in after the play. Looks like it's thrown in the general direction of the Hawks sideline. But good job to make something out of nothing and pick up that first down and stop the clock. Just under 9 minutes here. And these flags might even tack on more yardage after the play is blown dead. Dead ball fouls perhaps on the sideline.
We'll await the official call from the officials. It's in the direction of the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Blake Yarborough out there with the gold helmet for the Hawks. He stands out pretty easy. It is a penalty against personal foul against the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. That'll be 15 yards tacked on. The ball moves down to the 33-yard line.
So the Lions, like we said, need to score on this drive. They're getting their opportunities with a little assistance from the sidelines over there.
Bird in shotgun wing formation here. Two receivers to either side, has a back offset to his left. Now the clock starts to run. We'll see if Bird passes here. Steps back, looking. No options. He's going to keep it. This time he passes over across the 30-yard line into the hands of his intended receiver. It's caught for a nice 5-yard pickup.
That might have been Gamble right there running quarterback. Kind of a more opt for the athletic receiver to look around and run, but Gamble might be running quarterback and making a little pass right there and helping out on first down by getting some positive yards.
Yeah, we'll double check that. It may be Gamble out there at quarterback. Good eye on that, Carl.
Well, it looks like he went back to receiver here on the wide side.
Lining up back in the wing formation again. Actually, no, it is a different quarterback out there. It's scanning the field, looking, throwing, and bounces in and out of the hands. No good. There is a flag in the backfield. And we're trying to get the number of the quarterback out there.
Yeah, this will be the second quarterback in as many plays for the Lions, and it looks like this will be a flag against the Lions, so it'll back them up. I think it might be a hold on the offensive line.
It may be Webb Roush in at quarterback. Waiting to see the number. It's kind of hard from here again because their numbers are only on the back of their jerseys.
Yeah, spot foul here. Holding on the offensive line at the line of scrimmage. Takes them back behind the initial line of scrimmage here for second down. We'll replay that.
Well, Bird definitely not in the game. He's on the sideline.
And another change at quarterback here. I think Gamble goes back. Yeah, Gamble will be out of the shotgun here.
Gamble lines up here again, the wing formation. Gamble has a back offset to his left. Across the 45-yard line, he steps back, looking, scanning, throwing. Dart! And it's in and out of the hands, incomplete. And actually in at quarterback, yeah, it's Trenton Gamble. It's Patrick's brother. I think Trenton came into the game late also.
Yeah, right there, like you said, a dart. Just probably a fraction of a second off, maybe half a stride from his intended receiver. Then it was almost intercepted. A little bit too strong for the defense to really read, and they get lucky. Brings up third and long, though, and they need to pass here.
Now a change back at quarterback again. It's Webb Roush. And it's shotgun, 2 receivers down, and now a false start against
Looks like
the
that
Granger
right
Lions.
tackle. Yeah, right tackle. Took a step back just a second early. And they were working with the tight end on that side as well, so perhaps they were looking to maybe get a little something towards that first stick.
That was Garrett Cox with the false start. That's George Cox's son out there playing for the Granger Lions. In shotgun, Roush steps back, looking, trying to dodge a defender. Great blocking for him. He's got room. Now the pocket collapsing, and he's going to be sacked for a huge loss. The ball goes out of bounds, but he was sacked anyways, and the side judge marking him down around the 48-yard line, maybe the 47.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is punting unit time because here on fourth and about a mile, you don't want to really go for it and give great field position to turn it over. You can probably pin them deep somewhere around inside the 20. I don't know if there's enough leg to really get that into a touchback for a punt, so good opportunity here for the Lions to help out their defense on this special teams play coming up.
Looks like Blackman and Rigsby set back to receive the punt. And now a timeout by the Granger Lions. We'll keep it right here, waiting to see what the call is. They appear to line up that they're going to go for it from the 48-yard line.
It's got to be a pooch punt. I wouldn't go for it here. I mean, like I was saying, you need to score on this drive, but unless you're going to run another one of those plays that got them their only touchdown, that was a 69-yard pass, and go for a deep threat because the yard to gain is the 23. That's really your only option. Where's the ball placed right now?
It's at the 48.
So, yeah, we're talking about 25 yards, and odds just aren't in the favor here on fourth down. You're still playing to win this game, and right now punting it would be the best situation because you want to force them to keep it on the ground, and then you just hope that the ground game isn't going to be successful here as we come to a close on the third quarter.
Keon Blackman is set back there to receive, even though Trenton Gamble lines up in shotgun. He's got 2 receivers to either side. They got to wonder if there's some sort of trick play, or as you said, Carl, if they're going to pooch punt it, that would be the wise decision.
Yeah, that's my guess right now. He's a little too far away for a throw.
It's way too far. They are going to punt it here. No, he steps back. It's a fake. Wow. And he should have pooch punted it there. Instead, he's going to pass it, and that ball is going to be almost intercepted. I don't know what the play call there was. It was almost picked off by Ken Granger, and that'll be a turnover on downs, and it's going to put the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks in great field position here on their 10th drive. I beg your pardon, their 9th drive of the game.
Yeah, like I said, you kind of have to go for the win, and in that case, scoring on that drive probably would have been the best case scenario for this comeback. And now with 5:53 left, the Hawks really shouldn't pass again unless they absolutely need to on a 3rd and long. But right now they have 4-down territory coming up, so keep the ball on the ground if you're wearing white and red, and you can maybe go home a little early by running this clock.
The clock is running below 5:40 now. The Hawks with a 38-6 lead. They take the ball at their own 48-yard line. Valika still in at quarterback. 2 receivers to either side, has a back offset in the backfield to his right. Man in motion is Blackman. He's going to pass to Blackman, who was the man in motion, across the 50-yard line, still on his feet across the 40. Still going, across the 35, dodging defenders, spinning as he goes, and he finally falls down at the 36-yard line. A nice catch and return right there by Keon Blackman.
Yeah, that should be enough for the first down and about 5 more onto the other side of the field. They only needed a couple yards to get into Lion territory. And the officials keeping this clock rolling, under 5 minutes left. The Hawks, one more score should put it away, even though we have a whole 4th quarter to play.
Getting the ball at the 36-yard line. Blake in at shotgun.
Looks like there might be only 10 players on the field for the defense.
A lot of confusion here. Valika, the handoff to Blackman on the left side, and this time he's going to be stopped for a loss, but they may have given him forward progress back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, good open field tackle. Just kind of wrapped him up and brought him down. Clock's still moving, though. Like I said, that's the play here, and you have 3 more downs to try and get to that stick, which is about the 27-yard line.
We do have an injured Granger line on the field. And the clock running still at 3:56.
He pops back up. He seems all right. He's just going to go to the sideline and be replaced.
The officials are calling for the clock to stop. It does stop at 3:49. So luckily there, we've seen a couple of guys go down, but luckily Carl able to see those guys hop right back up, and thankfully no big injuries here. Granger line making his way back to the sideline. He's upset, very frustrated with this loss, with this down right now as much as they are, understandably so.
Yeah, it's still a big deficit to deal with.
Got to be tough. You still got to try to keep your composure, though.
And you still have 20 minutes-ish to play, so regardless of the score, you always want to give it your all. Like we said in the pregame, the moment you kind of ease up on the pedal, that's when bad things happen. Maybe the score gets worse, maybe something else.
And actually, the player that was frustrated, understandably, is the one that had a little stinger on the field. So that's very understandable. Tough to be out there. You want to play. You put your heart and soul into this, and you definitely don't want to get any stingers or any injuries here. Should be 2nd down here for the Hawks. Lika under center, the handoff to the back on the right side. Has room, has blockers across the 20 down to the 10. A nice run right there by Warnell. Picking up the first down inside the red zone. They're going to mark him out of bounds, Carl, at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, like I said, take your time on these play clocks. Pick up the first down if you can. You know, really no need for the Hawks to pass. And it looks like they're still going to be able to get into the end zone on this drive. Lions in desperate need of a turnover, and they're going to have to hope for a fumble.
38-6, the Hawks lead, 2:40 to go. The Hawks threatening in the red zone again. Valika in its shotgun. Warnell offset at his back to the right. Triplets up top to the left, 1 receiver down to the right. And he's going to keep it does Velika. Velika trying to go in for the touchdown. He dives a little bit too early. And what a run right there by JoJo. And he's having a little slowness getting up. I wonder if Velika may have mistimed that goal line. He was definitely trying to dive in. He dove a little bit too short, but nonetheless a first down and a great run right there on the keeper by JoJo.
Might have had a flashback back to high school when he could have done it. You know, it's a little harder as we get older. I know I would say most of these guys probably more athletic in high school than they are now. And it's easier when you have coaches yelling at you in 100-degree temperatures for 5 months to be more athletic during the season.
Tell you what, all these guys put together have more athletic ability than I do.
Hey, don't sell yourself too short.
And Velika actually heads over to the sideline, I believe. Maybe mistaken on that. I think there is a quarterback change under center here. The handoff to the back. Warnell fumbles the ball, and Granger comes up with it. Got room to run, still on his feet, and eventually drugged down by the quarterback. So you talked about needing a turnover there. The quarterback in was Marlon Lindsay, but Warnell fumbles the ball. Granger picks it up, and they run it back near the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Granger, like I said, desperate need of a fumble. They were able to force it right there on a strip, and they were able to even return it near the 30. So a good play right there by the Lions defense. Probably gives the Lions offense a little momentum, 1:27 left. If they can score here before the start of the fourth quarter, that's a victory for the Lions, and I'd say that they have some momentum. They probably need an onside kick to go their way, maybe two. But, hey, I've seen crazier things happen in football.
They'll take over on downs on their, or not, take over after the fumble on their own 28-yard line. 1:10 to go, the clock's running. Granger breaks out of the huddle here. Bird may be back in at quarterback. Can't tell from here. It appears that he is. And shotgun. Steps back, looks, throws in the flat over to his intended receiver, Gamble. Nice little flea flicker trick play. And they have their man bobbling the ball, but still has it. A nice catch right there by Marcus Hayes, still on his feet. And Marcus is going to definitely pick up enough for the first down into Hawk territory.
Double pass worked to perfection right there, and gives them ball onto the other side of the field. Now the Hawks defending in their own territory. 36 seconds left in the third. I'd say this is a big win for the Lions on that play, and we've seen some big – they've had the most out of the big-time plays out of the pass. And right now, if they have a couple more of those up their sleeve, things could get interesting. Oh, illegal forward pass. Yep, that wasn't a backward lateral, so that negates that entire play, and it's a cost of down. So, yep, unfortunate right there, but I figured it was close right on that. They were going for the screen, and the receiver wasn't quite behind the quarterback in that case. So no lateral, no backwards pass, and the Lions backed up to back where they were, and I think
even more.
That's a backbreaker, yeah.
From where they spot, it looks like a 10-yard penalty.
It looks like they only give him 5.
Yeah,
you don't see that too often. The double pass is kind of a rare play, and the penalty on the double pass, an illegal forward pass, you don't see those too often either.
Now they move him back.
So maybe it is 10.
So
yeah, I think it is 10 yards. The official shorted him 5 on the first one.
Looked like at first it may have been a flea flicker, but it was a double pass play. Granger. I don't think they were ready to start the play. The officials weren't ready. So maybe they'll just let him redo that on down. I don't think it was any penalty against Granger, any false start. The officials weren't ready. Now they run it here. 2nd down and 20. Bird still in at quarterback, it appears. 2 receivers down to the near side. Has a back off set to his right, calls for it, steps back. Around the 10-yard line, gonna pass. Deep pass down the center part of the field. That one bobbled, and it appears to be turned over. It is an interception right there by number 25, Tevin Henry, for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Unfortunately for Bird, that is his 4th pick of the day.
Yep, that one, big kind of costly turnover right after the illegal forward pass. You have an interception. going for the deep ball again. Looked like they sent 4 men back there, kind of a cover 2 with some deep linebackers. And you have to realize that that's unfortunate throwing in deep coverage, but when you're down 32 points, you need to go for those bombs. And another interception. Like I said, Hawks probably aren't going to pass again. They're going to hold on to the football, and they have good field position right here. They're going to be in 4-down territory no matter what, so they have 4 chances to pick up the first down. We're going to go into the fourth quarter probably after this next play. So it's all about clock management now for the Hawks, and they can pretty much just milk this lead and the clock into the championship game.
As you just said, Carl, only 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. We can see rain over to our north. Hasn't quite made it over this way yet. They break the huddle here. Getting close to 6 p.m. here as this game continues on. We've been on the air for 2 hours, 30 minutes. The handoff to the back, the pitch back actually, and he's going to drive his way down. And that should end the third quarter. A nice job right there on the carry. Oh, it's Tyro Watson. And at the end of 3, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks in full control, leading 38-6 over the Granger Lions. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, the remaining quarter of this ball game, you're watching Gridiron Glory Alumni football presented by SHN Sports. This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by the Shoning Hip Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, use of sound bites and interviews, and use of any other content, including audio or video, without the direct written consent and permission by the Shoning Hip Network is strictly prohibited and protected by federal and copyright laws. All rights are reserved by the Shoning Hip Network and SHNSports.com. Welcome back to Gridiron Glory Alumni Football presented by SHN Sports. Rob Hipp alongside my good friend Carl Schoening, Rick Epstein, our public address announcer. And it is second down for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks, and they just went off false start. That'll set them back. It'll be second down and 10.
Yeah, not what you want to do right there, but looks like our clock operator might be part of the officiating crew, as you know, looking to keep the clock rolling just a little bit after those whistles were blown. So clock should probably still be at 15 minutes. We're down to 14:38.
So ball just inside the 45-yard line for the Hawks. Velika back in at quarterback, scanning right side. Deep pass, the right side of the field, in and out of his hands, just off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Krista Armand.
Yeah, that was a great call down the sideline. Looked like a go route, just head towards the end zone, and nice air underneath it. Maybe just a step short, and that would have been a touchdown, maybe down to the 5 if the defense had been able to lunge enough. But there you have an incomplete pass.
Clock at 14 minutes now. Velika in shotgun. He's going to have trips down to the near side. One receiver up top to the right, empty backfield. Look for the pass here. Velika steps back, passing left side. And this one's going to be well short of his intended receiver. Looked like it was in the direction of Keon Blackman.
I guess maybe during the break between the quarters they talked about it a little bit and maybe decided to give the receivers a little bit of route running with purpose, because if they just kept handing it off, eventually the defense would maybe catch on, pack the box in. But the receivers, you know, they deserve to have a little bit of fun out there. They joined this game, and just working with the lead the whole time as the Hawks have wouldn't be too fair to them not for them to have any opportunity to touch the ball. So I like how the Hawks are just getting their receiving teammates involved.
Fourth down here, and the Hawks are going to go for it on 4th down and 10. The ball just inside the 45-yard line. Velika in its shotgun. 2 receivers to either side, has a back offset to his right. Looking to pass left side. And Intercepted. Nice job by the Lions off the deflection and intercepted. And the Lions bring it down. It appears to be at the 44-yard line. And Hernandez comes up with the interception there. Boy, that number looked like that ball looked like it just went right off the numbers of Keon Blackman into the hands of Granger.
Yeah, you know, we're not going to have any review, obviously, from the booth. I kind of thought he might have trapped that, but good job to stay on his feet after the ball came into his hands and return it all the way out, and gives the Lions a chance here to break double digits if they can take this drive into the end zone.
The Lions take over after the interception on their own 36-yard line. Their 11th possession of the ball game. Third possession here in the second half. 12:53 to go, clock ticking. The Hawks lead 38-6. Lions with the ball on the far side hash mark. Two receivers up top. And change at quarterback again is Gamble. This time he hands off to his back. And there's going to be no gain, maybe even a loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, draw play didn't really work right there. It looked like he was going to pass and decided to hand it off. And unfortunately, the defense had already kind of closed up the trenches, so no real running lanes. And I don't believe that's fourth down. Yeah, second down as we get the clock or the down correct there.
Quarterback steps back, finding off a few defenders, looking to pass, and this time, boy, that almost could have been intercepted. It looked like it went off the foot of it went off the foot of a Granger player. That is an interception. Boy, that was just an amazing play as Sean Neal comes up with the ball, and it will be Hadrin-Jefferson ball. I saw it from here. It didn't look like it at first, but that ball, Carl, bounced off the foot of a Granger Lion, and Neal able to come up with it. And everybody just kind of standing around, and he ran with it and got it down to the 21-yard line.
You play until the whistle. Another interception by the Hawks, and I actually did not see that play. It looked to me like they ran out of bounds, and the clock would stop and they would keep their possession. But in that case, hey, a turnover and a big one. Well, not necessarily a big one, but it's costly for the Lions as that ends their drive and gives the Hawks great field position at the 21.
The clock at 11:47. It's stopped now. And the Hawks threatening again. They take over on the Granger 21-yard line. Velika under center. He has Kennebrew behind him. He hands off to Kennebrew, and Kennebrew cooking some stew, getting his way down to the 25-yard line. A nice pickup there of 7 on the play by Kennebrew.
Yep, keeping it to the ground, and as the clock keeps ticking, the Hawks working their way deeper into the red zone, and they're going to have plenty of opportunities here. It's 4-down territory easily, and even if they don't pick it up here, they have 2 more tries to get inside that 10-yard line.
Velika in shotgun this time. The handoff again to Kennebrew. Kennebrew misdirection, bounces his way around, spins. This time dropped for a loss of 1 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 6.
Yeah, taking their time, milking a lot of that game clock. I don't think the officials will necessarily call them for a delay of game unless they take around a minute because there's no game clock there on the field, or excuse me, play clock on the field. So they're just working their huddle, and they're probably going to have a long count here as well.
Ball at the 16-yard line. It's 3rd down for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. Velika under center. 2 backs behind him, 2 receivers down to the left, 1 up top to the right. The pitch back to Kennebrew. Kennebrew has room to run. Kennebrew has the touchdown.
Nice little stretch play, going for that pylon on the kind of narrow side, but still 6 more points for the Hawks. They're pouring it on here, and they have another defensive stand to make, but obviously keeping it on the ground, and they were able to find some room on the left side.
Leading 44-6 now, going for the 2-point conversion. 9:40 to go on the clock. Velika lines up in shotgun, has Kennebrew offset to his right. Triplets down to the left, one receiver on the far side. High snap, and Velika should just fall on it. He does. That ball goes all the way back to near the 25-yard line. 9:23 to go. 2-point conversion, no good, but the Hawks well on their way to a victory and going to earn a spot in that Gridiron Glory Championship game coming up weekend after next, right back here at Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex versus the Georgetown Eagles. And, Carl, that is going to be a great one.
Yeah, looking forward to the championship game, as I assume that is the end of this Gridiron Glory season, but still plenty of alumni games left to be played. And yeah, you see a dominating performance by the Hawks out here tonight. That's going to be a good confidence builder for them going into next week.
Well, they'll have 2 weeks to prepare. Next week is a no game, and then the week following will be the game. So they'll have 2 weeks to really get out there and practice. And Georgetown has got a tough squad as well. Hayes may have been a clear favorite, as they've only lost to Georgetown twice. That's the only team that they've never been able to beat. And Georgetown knocking them out of the championship yesterday. Kicking off from the 35-yard line. I believe it's Judas Bertrand. The kick goes away. This time he pops it up in the air around the 18-yard line. Granger has it, crossing over the 30, still on his feet. The big man finally plowing his way out of bounds around the 40. A nice return right there by Scott Cockrell. And Granger will take over here, Carl, on their own 40-yard line, trying to at least put some pride points on the board, down by a long shot.
Yeah, like you said, just trying to get another score in here. They had that big bomb, 69 yards for their first touchdown, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them fire a few more deep passes, but given the fact that they have, I think it's 5 interceptions on the day now, maybe they elect to see how the ground game works until they can set up that pass.
The clock at 8 minutes now. Hadrin-Jefferson leading 44-6. Granger with the ball on the near side hash mark. Gamble in shotgun, 2 receivers to either side, has a back offset to his left. Going to step back and looks to pass here. Nice little screen over to his receiver. And still on his feet, finally being able to drag down a really tough fight there by Daniel Carr. And he had to fight for those yards, and he only picks up a few on the play after all that.
Yeah, Gamble doing a really good job waiting for the defense to collapse on him, hits the guy on the screen. Still positive yards. That's about 5 yards, roughly what you want from a screen play. And they trying to set some more offense up as we have breaking the game for a guy who's down on the field.
Yeah, Hadrin-Jefferson player down. There was 2 penalty flags on the field, but both officials waving those off. And once again, a great job right there getting back to his feet. Zane Connor, the 2015 alum, and able to get up under his own will. And Carl actually able to even run off the field. That's even a better sign.
Still a little holdup in restarting the action. But I believe the clock should get rolling here now that both teams have 11 players on the team. There you go.
Just under 7:45 to go, and Granger here on Second down, I believe, and nobody even holding the chain gang down there. The chains aren't even being held. Deep pass from Gamble, and this one is going to be picked off by Hadrin-Jefferson around the 32-yard line. Waiting to see the number on that, and it was number 1, Damon Young, with the interception.
Yeah, another pick, and that should pretty much do it. I think the Hawks will come out here. They'll slowly work their way down the field. I don't think they're going to look for any home run plays, as they just want to run out the final minutes of this ball game.
So Hadrin-Jefferson will take over on their own 33-yard line. Clock below 7 minutes. It's running. They lead 44-6. A tough night here tonight for the Granger Lions, who came in with a lot of expectations, but the experience of the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks just too much. We did see one glimpse there by Granger on that 61-yard touchdown pass to Patrick Gamble in the second quarter, and that's the only points that they've scored here. And now some sort of penalty on the play. I didn't see it there. Maybe for some reason the ball goes down to the 32-yard line. Actually, it's at the 27-yard line. I'm not sure what that was. The new quarterback in for Hadrin-Jefferson. The handoff to the back. It's Warnell. Warnell on the right side. And he still wants to put some points on the board. And he's finally brought down back in front of the original line of scrimmage. Nice run right there by Warnell.
Looked like he ran into his teammate, and then a flag came out. I wonder what the flag's about, because he was brought down by his own teammate.
Lindsey in at quarterback, Marlon Lindsey.
The official picks it up, and looks like they're going to move the ball all the way down to the 50. So
a personal foul against the Lions, maybe.
I guess. The officials in a little bit of a hurry. They aren't going to signal up here to the press box. They'll just let them know on the sidelines what it is and keep this ball advanced.
And the chain gang back in action now after taking a break. Ball's at the 50-yard line. Lindsey in at quarterback. Going to give Alika the night off now. Lindsey under center. 2 receivers down to the near side. 1 receiver up top. He's going to pitch out on the sweep to his back. On the near side, fighting through, it's Warnell. Warnell dashing around. Warnell plowing his way down to the 25-yard line. A big run by Warnell. Give him 25 on that carry.
Yeah, the Hawks don't look like they're going to show any mercy right there. 25 yards from the 50 to the 25 right there. Clock's still moving, obviously, as he didn't go out of bounds, but looks like they're trying to score 50 on the Lions.
Frustration taking its toll now on the Granger Lions. A little extracurricular after the play. The officials let it go and split them up. And we see Kennebrew come back onto the field now for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks at the 25-yard line. Clock approaching 4 minutes here, Carl. Ball on the near side hash mark. Lindsey in at quarterback still. He's going to line up under center. 2 backs behind him. 2 receivers down to the near side. 1 up top to the right. This time the delayed pitch out to Warnell. Warnell on the right side trying to bounce around. Hurdles over to defender, and he's brought down just inside the 20-yard line. They're going to say he's down at the 21.
Kind of mishap on the play right there. I think there was a little miscommunication on the pitch, and then it looked like it was maybe going to be a running back throw, and he pointed out somebody, like it looked like he was going to point out a receiver, probably saw that that man was covered and elected to just run on his own and was still able to pick up a few yards. So the Hawks making something out of nothing right there.
Should be second down. The chain gang not flipping the signs over here.
Yeah, they're kids, though. They're just having fun over there.
We appreciate them out there volunteering their time. Should be second down. This time Lindsey in shotgun. Low snap. He's going to have to fall on it, and he does around the 35-yard line. A big loss there and a mishandled snap. And that clock's going to run below 3 minutes now. It's going to bring up third down and long for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks.
Yeah, probably still 4-down territory, though. You know, no point in punting at this point of the game. Just turn it over on downs, let the Lions come out and have their final minute if they aren't able to pick up the first down, which is at around the 15-yard line. That seems a little unlikely, but you never know here. As 2:30 left, they're going to use the full play clock. They're probably not even going to snap this until about 2:10 left on the game clock.
And Bird out there playing defense for the Granger Lions. The ball at the 35-yard line, in between the hash marks. Lindsey in shotgun, has two receivers to his left. One of them's Warnell, it looks like. Warnell now in motion. High snap, the handoff to Warnell on the sweep on the right side. Dancing and prancing his way across the 30. They're going to mark him down at the 31-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down and long. 4th down and about 14 for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be maybe one more opportunity for the Hawks to get a first down. If they're not able to pick up, it looks like 13 yards, the Lions will have one more shot. And I believe the Lions have all of their timeouts, so if they really want to force the issue and get a touchdown, they have an opportunity. But it'll have to be a turnover on downs, and they'll have to go roughly 70 yards down the field.
Lindsey in at shotgun. Actually, he's under center. Two backs behind him, two receivers down to the left. The pitch out, actually fakes it, looking, scanning. Dodges a defender, still on his feet. The pocket collapsing, and now he's going to be brought out of bounds just inside the 45-yard line, 35-yard line. And they're going to mark him down. Waiting to see where the official mark is here by the officials. It appears to be the 33-yard line, Carl. That's where the line judge is standing on the far side. Now he moves over to the 32.
Yeah, and with only minute 13 left, the Lions probably just going to hand it off a few times, maybe pass it once or twice, but this should be the final closing moments of the ball game and the final possession for either team, unless there's another interception.
Granger Lions will take over on downs at their own 32-yard line. The Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks started out that drive on the 38, and they stalled at the 32. They were able to bring it down the field after a couple of big runs, but not able to put it in again. And more than likely we'll end this game at 44-6. There's still a minute 13 to go, though. Granger trying to put some pride points on the board. Again, a tough night for them. The lone score coming off of that 61-yard touchdown pass to Patrick Gamble.
We have a timeout here by Granger, and as Rick Epstein was announcing the MVP, it looked like Todd Rigsby for Hadrin-Jefferson was trying to promote himself. He's part of that secondary that got several interceptions today.
Had a nice job, but my vote goes to the running back number 32, Dominic Thomas, who has 3 touchdowns early on in the first half of play. He was just lights out.
Still, Lions have minute 13 here after this timeout to try and get it a little more than a little less than 70 yards down the field. So try and get that double-figure mark.
Gamble in shotgun, tight formation. One receiver trips actually up to the left, steps back looking, and Gamble avoids the sack, still dancing around and makes some positive yardage. He's going to pick up 2 yards down to the 34-yard line. And that clock below 50 seconds now. And Carl, I'll be making my way down to the field shortly for that MVP interview. I'll have to run down there. This should be the final play of the game here. Granger steps back, maybe not. They're going to pass, and that falls incomplete with 16 seconds to go.
Yeah, extending every moment of this ball game as they can, and not necessarily conceding to just take a knee or to hand it off. And with third down coming up, they probably will go for the final 2 plays, get their money's worth. Okay.
16 seconds to go here. Gamble in at shotgun, 2 receivers down to the right. 3rd down. Gamble steps back. Great defense again, and a fumble on the field, and it is recovered by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks with 6 seconds to go, and they'll probably just let this one run down as they should. And that will be the end of the game as the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks defeat the Granger Lions 44-6. We'll be down there with the interview of the MVP in a few moments. We'll be right back here on SHN Sports, Gridiron Glory Alumni Football.
Shortly, after both teams meet for a quick message at midfield by Gridiron Glory Alumni Football owner George Cox. Once again, we want to say thanks to all the sponsors today. Earl's Lube and Tire, Full Bore Sportswear, IHS Fan, Leander Liquor, Magnum Custom Trailers, SHN Sports, and Sideline Sports Grill. This game can be seen right now and forever on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, type in Gridiron Glory Alumni Football, and look for this game. The call to action today was provided by SHN Sports' Rob Hitt, and the color commentary by Carl Stoning. Stick around for the announcement.
We're back here at Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex on Palmer Lane. Carl Schoening waiting on Rob Hipp. He is just moments away from interviewing our MVP, Dominic Thomas, for the Hawks. The Hawks winning this one 44-6, and they led this one from start to finish as they got 3 touchdowns from Dominic Thomas. After the Lord's Prayer right there is broken up, we'll get the interview down to Rob Hipp on the sidelines as he waits for the congregation of both teams to be done. Rob there on the sidelines, just waiting for him to finish up and find Dominic Thomas, as the Hawks are taking just a moment here to figure out what's going on. We're going to send it down to him as soon as we are ready. We'll be back in just a moment with that interview.
Go over here. Hey, Dominic, I'm gonna get an interview with you. Is that cool? We just gotta go over here
So now we will send it down to the field as Rob Hipp and Dominic Thomas are on the sidelines. We're going to send it down to Rob Hipp now. Rob, go ahead.
Hey, Carl, can you hear me up there in the booth?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Awesome. Well, Rob Hipp down here. Man, what a game tonight by the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. You guys played lights out, man. And, we talked about it earlier. We were part of the MVP committee, man. But, man, tonight, Dominic, you were just on fire. Tell us about it, man. You had 3 touchdowns tonight. What was it like out there on the field?
Man, it was a great experience. Big shout out to my offensive lineman, man. The guys work hard at practice every week. We put in work, and, they just had big gaping holes open for me. And, I'm a competitive person. I get the ball in my hand. I want to get in the end zone. Shout out to Granger. They're a great team. They showed great sportsmanship. George Cox, Gridiron, Alumni football. I don't know, man. It's just what I like doing, man. I love football. I've been playing this since I was 6 years old. I'm 31 now. I don't plan on stopping till my bones break.
Yeah, that's the way to look at it, man. Hey, you guys are led by such a great leader out there, JoJo Velika. What's it been like playing under JoJo and just getting to know him and seeing him out there on the gridiron as well? What's that been like for you guys?
Man, it's been a great experience with JoJo, man. Me and JoJo go way back to 2008. We played on the Seminoles team together. JoJo, he an old vet, great leader, great team captain. He the one who gets everybody together and organize stuff, you know what I'm saying? I thank him for that. Actually, he called me back out. I was working and stuff, and, he found out. He was like, man, where Dominic at? A couple of guys called me back out. I came, and I've been playing with him ever since. It's been a great experience. JoJo, he won't give it up. He like I said, he an old vet. He gonna play until his bone break too. And I want to keep playing more games with him. I love that guy.
Well, awesome, man. Well, hey, a couple of final questions out here on the gridiron. You guys have to sacrifice a lot. This isn't a full-time gig for y'all. You come out here and you guys want to have fun, but when it's game day, I know that you guys are serious about it. How is it like, being a family man and just having friends and stuff? What's that like trying to arrange time and get out here to play?
Well, I work 6 days a week, so I don't know. You got to make time, because it's something you like doing. It's like a hobby for me. I work all week. My family, back in Beaumont, my daughter I take care of. But I don't know. I love the sport so much. You're gonna find time. You know what I'm saying, to do it. And my job. Sometimes I be having to work. But my job know what I do and they understand, so they'll let me off. But it's like real hard work. Because. We're not getting paid for this. We have to pay money, but, we having fun. At the same time, you can work, go home to your family, you know what I'm saying, and play the sport you love to do.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, one final question here. You guys, congratulations on getting to the championship game. You're going to be playing Georgetown week after next. Are you guys, what's the mindset going into playing Georgetown? I'm not familiar if y'all played them yet or not, but what's the mindset going into playing Georgetown Eagles? They had a great game against Hayes. They've got a kicking game as well. What are you guys looking forward to on that one? Again, that's week after next.
Well, all I can say is Georgetown going to be a great game. We took an L from them I want to say 6 months ago. We came down here, played them, man. They're a great team. They got great coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, they're real organized. We just got to put a game plan together, and be ready for them. We're going to study game film. I think it's like within 2 weeks, so we got a lot of work to do, But if we play like we play tonight, we'll come out with the W. That's the main part, trying to get the W and represent the state of Texas.
Awesome, man. Well, Dominic, I'm a Georgetown alum. I didn't play football because I was about 100 pounds, man, in high school. I finally put on some weight. But you know what? It's going to be unbiased. I'm going to be cheering on both teams out there. Final question, man. Any shout-outs, anybody you'd like to send some love to tonight?
Oh, yes. I would like to shout out my family in Atlanta, Georgia, my brother in Alabama, my family in Beaumont, Patience McCall, my girl. My mama deceased, she looking over me. My grandma deceased, so they looking over me. Shout out to them, because I know they my wings every time I'm in the game. I don't do what I do for nothing. And, shout out to you, for giving me the interview, SHN Sports Network. I'm just thankful and happy that I get to do and play the game that I love to play.
Awesome, Dominic. Well, bless you, man. We appreciate you. We'll let you get going. Again, congratulations on the victory tonight, and good luck in the championship coming up week after next.
All right, thanks, Rob.
Carl, we'll send it back up to you in the press box.
All right, that was Rob Hipp down there on the field with Dominic Thomas, today's MVP, as the Granger Lions fall to the Jefferson Hawks, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. And Rob Hipp will be coming back up here, rejoining us in just a moment for a final recap of the ball game here from Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex, as better known as the Palace on Palmer, here outside of Austin, Texas. And they beat the rain just in time. Looks like a storm will be coming in soon. A fun game out here today, this Sunday afternoon. We'll be back in a moment here on SHN Sports.
Carl back up in the broadcast booth and now had a moment to talk just moments ago with Dominic. What a great game he had. Again, 3 touchdowns on the night. Overall, a great alumni football game here now. Week after next, it's going to be the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks versus the Georgetown Eagles. That's going to be a great one. But this one tonight, what are your final thoughts, Carl?
Dominating performance by the Hawks. They were able to take the lead early and hold on to it throughout the game. And great defensive performance as they had several interceptions and a couple fumble recoveries. And really fun ball game coming up in a couple weeks between those two teams. As you said, the Hawks and the Eagles be a battle of the birds for the championship.
I like how you saw that. Well, quick wrap-up of the scoring summary. In the first quarter, it was the Hawks taking the early 8-0 lead after that first touchdown run by Dominic Thomas. And then in the second quarter, it was another 7-yard touchdown run by Dominic Thomas. At that point, it was 14-0. And that was after an interception. Another interception by Granger led to another touchdown run, 8 yards that time by Dominic Thomas. And then Granger finally getting on the board. It was Gamble from a 61-yard pass from Bird. That was the lone score of the Granger Lions. At that point, it was Hadrin-Jefferson 22-6. And then immediately after that, a 75-yard kick return, a nice run back by Keon Blackman, and that was a 30-6 lead. And we didn't see another score again until the third period. It was Granger turning it over on a pick six as it was brought back at 41 yards, and a great job right there on a 41-yard pick six for the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks. And then again, it was a final score, a 15-yard touchdown run to end things, and that's where we ended up tonight, 44-6. Carl, a great broadcast, a great game. Again, a special thanks to our good friend, Mr. George Cox at Gridiron Glory. We always thank him. We have his website up at the screen. Again, if you want to get back to the Gridiron and relive your glory days, register today at www.gridironglory.com. On behalf of everyone at SHN Sports, Rob Hipp alongside Carl Schoening, Rick Epstein, our public address announcer tonight. Again, the Hadrin-Jefferson Hawks advance to the championship round week after next as they will play the Georgetown Eagles right back here at Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex. Your final, 44-6 over the Granger Lions. Again, thanks for watching, and have a pleasant, wonderful evening, everyone. This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by the Schoening Hip Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, use of sound bites and interviews, and use of any other content, including audio or video, without the direct written consent and permission by the Schoening Hip Network is strictly prohibited and protected by federal and copyright laws. All rights are reserved by the Schoening Hip Network and SHNSports.com.